2. Back at the ballpark at Sinsheimer Stadium in San Luis Obispo, off the heels of a riveting walk-off winner, the Blues took Game 1 of a 3-game homestand against the Sonoma Stompers, and they return on this lovely Wednesday night to face Sonoma again. Hello and welcome inside the broadcast booth. Nate Mills alongside Ryan Giacomini, as always, for the SLO Blue Streaming Network, the Ancient Owl pregame show, getting the table set for Sonoma versus San Luis Obispo. So we'll get into last night's game a little bit more. In the regular innings, 1 through 9, not what you would have liked for San Luis Obispo. And I think manager Dean Traynor knows that. He's had a lengthy conversation with this team before today's game. How many times can you rely on the heroics? And E.J. Royal luckily came through for them, but how often can you go to that every time you play a baseball game at home?
Yeah, I mean, going into the ninth inning down 3 and winning is not a sustainable way to play baseball. They just have to be able to attack early, which is something, Rene Regalado expressed to us prior to the game. They just got to get ahead in these games, not have to play from behind. It's much more fun, too, to play with a lead than it is to try to come back and win games. So if the Blues can get out ahead, I think the bats just need to get going early. They only had 2 hits in the first 4 innings. It's something that you would like to see that number improve.
And this is pitching that the Blues can certainly handle. They did so in Game 2 against Sonoma, and even you can talk in batting practice and with hitting coach Regalado, they know this is pitching that they can crush and they can hit to all parts of the ballpark. They're just waiting for that to click, and all that starts with attacking in counts early. Now, Coach Rene did say that when they do get in 2-strike counts, he's actually very confident in the Blues, and this all goes back to an up-the-middle approach that he's instilling in all of the hitters. 2 guys that are really good at that, Mason Ashlock and E.J. Royal, and there's no coincidence that they're 2 of the best hitters on this team. So the Blues trying to keep that up the middle of the approach, and like I said last night, the best 2-strike approach is don't get a 2-strike count.
Yeah, that's very true, but I agree with Rene. I think our hitters excel in 2-strike counts because I think, it's summer ball, they're just trying to swing for the fences, hit extra base hits, stuff like that. And when they get into 2-strike counts, they're more concerned about not striking out. So their bat-on-ball skills get better. And then, they're able to just poke balls around, which is what E.J. Royal excels at. I think yesterday he had one of his best at-bats I've ever seen, where he was in a runner on first 2-out situation, and it was very clear that he was trying to find a gap until he got to 2 strikes. And then when he got to 2 strikes, he found a gap on the infield or the other way, just threw the barrel out there, trusted his hands to give him a base hit, and he did it. But I just love the way that he switched his approach mid-at-bat. He knew he could go extra base hit to start and then switch it to let's move the line along, let the next guy get a chance.
Plan the hunt, hunt the plan, as they say. The Blues are trying to get onto that track. Another point of emphasis for Dean Traynor in that conversation was a lot of individualistic baseball, and that is very hard to shake off when you're playing in summer ball, especially in a roster filled with now 19 players who are in the transfer portal. Everyone trying to vie for a spot. Scouts are coming to the games. Everyone wants to look good in front of these colleges, but they also have to remember at the same time, playing with a team-first mindset will also get you good looks from universities too.
Because the universities are going to care more about winning than the Blues are. Not to say the Blues don't care about wins and losses. They do still want to be a good baseball team, but these universities are competing at a high level. So if scouts are going to be able to see when you have an individualistic mindset, or a team mindset. So if you come out here and have a team mindset, A, it's going to be easier for you to get recruited. B, Blues are going to win more games, and then the fans are going to be happy.
And we talk about recruiting a lot, but that's kind of a big theme in summer baseball. A lot of guys hitting the portal, and this is kind of what the CCL is too. It's full of a lot of guys hopping from school to school, exiting junior college and trying to find a new place to call home. So yeah, it's a point of emphasis every year in the CCL. Well, that's the offensive side of things on last night. Of course, they got bailed out by the E.J. Royal RBI single, which was electric. Don't want to take anything away from that. That was a wonderful moment. Very fun at Sinsheimer, and a good job to get that win and snap a 2-game losing streak. But on the other end, the starting pitching continues to be a struggle for San Luis Obispo. Riley Marcotte made his first start of the summer for the Blues, the left-hander from Louisiana Lafayette. 4 innings of work, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And the bullpen the pitching got better and better as we reached deeper and deeper into the bullpen. Who I'm most impressed with is Cade O'Hara. Yeah. He pitched 3 innings in relief, and that's the longest he's ever pitched at Texas or in San Luis Obispo, and he looked great the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that line for Marcotte, 3 runs, not ideal, but only 1 of them earned. I mean, an error in the first inning that essentially gave the Stompers 2 runs. So if you can eliminate that error, it was the only error of the night. So you can live with one error, but, hopefully, you want to limit the amount of runs that the team can score on that error. And then, in the third, a good swing by Brady Shannon. Not much you're going to do. That's going to happen. You're going to get banged up sometimes. But I do really think Chase Rogers looked good in his inning. Chiarella looked really good, which is something we haven't seen a lot, so it was good to see him have a bounce-back inning. And then, yes, Cade O'Hara, 3 innings, just gave up 1 unearned run, which was one of the not inherited runners, but the extra inning runners on second base, and then 4 strikeouts. It's a great way for a great momentum boost for Cade.
Chiarella looked good in San Francisco, too, against the Seagulls. So that's 2 good outings for Roth. He's starting to turn a page here in this summer. One thing about Cade, too, he's a main fastball slider guy. And last night we saw the changeup working really well, and that was really good to see too.
Yeah, if he can work a third pitch, I think that makes it just so much more dangerous because very 3/4, so his fastball almost works like a sinker action where it has that inwards break, not as much downward. And then that slider just it grabs so much. So if he can add that changeup to work off, that's a good 3-pitch mix for a reliever. And that's more the style of baseball now. 3-pitch mix, hard fastball, good slider with a third pitch that, you bring out in special situations when you have confidence in it.
Well, the Blues are dealing with Devin Linginto today. He started in Game 2 against San Luis Obispo when they were up in Sonoma a couple weeks ago. 3 innings there, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. That was the line for Linginto the last time he faced the Blues, and he'll be here at Sinsheimer today. And on the mound for San Luis Obispo, making his Blues debut, it's the Cal Poly kid, Eric Cavidal, and I'm very excited to see what he can do for the Blues.
Yeah, he's not a guy who got a lot of innings this last year with the Mustangs, but coming to summer to work some things up, and he's a guy that will be a key piece for the Mustangs going forward. Very successful D1 team this last year, so I think it'll be a good start to his summer today against the Stompers team that might be a little deflated after 12 innings of baseball yesterday. They're bringing back, I think it's 7 of the same guys in the lineup today, and a loss is obviously the big factor there.
Well, the Blues are approaching a stretch where they have 12 games in 13 days, so they gotta really get the stamina up to get ready for that. If you're talking about workload, they got one more game tonight, and then another against the Arroz Seco Saints tomorrow at Sinsheimer. Then they hit the road, a SoCal swing against the Barons, the Riptide, and the Santa Barbara Foresters before heading back to Sinsheimer Stadium on Monday. Well, that'll wrap us up on the Ancient Owl pregame show. Nate Mills and Ryan Giacomini on the call for you tonight on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. We're going to send it back to the field, and we'll see you right after this.
to get guys out of here. We want to go, have fun, party, do whatever we want, but before they back, get them back into the dugout, get the bats back out there, quick, efficient innings, and that all starts to get accomplished. On the out for that pace, so on the mound, and Roman's radar coming up. We have a new fun segment, Roman's radar, trivia time. Let's start there. That is what they got to do. Now the on-base percentages are high for Scheffler, for Trent Keane. Both Gordon has been on quite a bit. I know he's the hit leader. I'm thinking of Both Gordon. Both Gordon has great hits inside the top of the total base. Play for a lot of extra base hits for Shannon and the Blues are the home spot for the Stompers behind the line. You have to be Brendan Comerford batting a little bit further down in the line. He's hitting 310 on the year, on base percentage 421. He has 13 strikeouts, not only that, you really want to see for a guy that we talked about for the look behind enemy lines, but playing third base today, that's where he's comfortable. He's bringing down a smooth, confident game, trying to help his team take a 3-1 series victory. Wrapping up shop here on the Sonoma Stompers pregame show. Golf watch. Yes, I'm going to go with next back. Not getting opportunity. I'm going to go with Connor Malowski. He's a hot bat in the lineup. 60th with 30 OPS. He's hitting well. He's swinging well. He's been super clutch for the Stompers for about the last week and a half at the walk-off against Madison Park. In that 5 spot, RBI. Out that 5 spot is bringing to Oscar Lopez. 8 runs that hit that right second on the Stompers. So that's wrapped up. Pregame show. We're poised for first pitch, the 4th and final regular season meeting between San Luis Obispo and Sonoma coming up on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Sonoma Stompers Radio Network. Not in it. Yeah. 1, 3, and 7.
It is the principle of the San Luis Obispo Blues to foster a family-friendly atmosphere, allowing for the continuing growth of a quality baseball experience here on the Central Coast. To that end, spectators are asked to support their team in a positive manner and treat opposing fans and players with respect. Profanity, racial slurs, or otherwise unruly behavior will not be tolerated, and violators will be removed from the facility. We thank you in advance for your cooperation. The Blues are proud to announce today's free foul ball sponsor. That is the Wallace Group. And representing the Wallace Group tonight to throw out the first pitch is Alvaro. All right, Alvaro, show us what you got.
Whoa. From the windup of lefty? Whoa.
Hey!
Sign him up. Thanks to the Wallace Group for sponsoring our free foul balls. Here's the starting lineup for the Sonoma Stompers. Leading off, Colton Boardman, number 3. Then it's number 44, Max Hadron. Then number 49, McCann Libby. Number 37, Brady Shannon is in 4th spot. Batting 5th, number 9, Connor Pawlowski. Then it's number 45, Paul Lazul. Followed by number 12, Kiernan Baker. Batting 8th is number 38, Anthony Shepler. He's followed up by number 4, Ben Sebastiani. And the pitcher tonight, a right-hander, number 18, Devin Laginto. And now here's the starting lineup for your San Luis Obispo Blues. Leading off, number 50, C.J. Royal. Batting second, number 1, Cade O'Hara. Batting third, number 51, Mason Ashlock. Batting fourth, number 18, Donovan Jordan. Then it's number 26, Andrew Raymond. Batting 6, number 2, Brendan Comerford. Then it's number 12, Eli Henderson. Batting 8, number 23, Sebastian Lopez. And batting 9th, number 24, Charlie Caruso. Starting pitcher is Eric Cavidal. The Blues are led by Dean Traynor. He's assisted by Brian Traynor, Rene Regalado, Paul Teixeira, Randy Kosar, Scheitz Garcia, and Brayton Seeger. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask you to please stand and kindly remove your hats as the Central Coast Harmony Chorus sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
To the Central Coast Harmony Chorus. They'll be back to sing during the 7th inning stretch. And let's take a look at the defensive lineup.
A hum you Wednesday from Sinsheimer Stadium. The Blues again against the Sonoma Stompers off the heels of a walk-off winner last night at Sinsheimer, and they're looking for win number 2 after a fiery pep talk from Dean Traynor before today's game. Well, here's the starting lineup for the Sonoma Stompers this Wednesday evening. Colton Boardman leads it off, playing shortstop. Max Handren, the third baseman, will bat second. Batting third's McCann Libby at second base. Cleaning it up, it's Brady Shannon playing in right field. Batting fifth, Connor Pawlowski is catching. And batting sixth is Paul Lazul at first base. Kieran Baker, the center fielder, bats seventh, with Anthony Shepler DHing and batting eighth. Rounding it out in the ninth spot, it's Ben Sebastiani playing in left field. Here's a defensive alignment for your San Luis Obispo Blues. Charlie Caruso is today's sign thrower with Sebastian Lopez over at first base. Eli Henderson back at second with Brendan Comerford at third. The shortstop is Cade O'Hara, and the outfield left to right is Andrew Raymond, E.J. Royal, and Mason Ashlock with Don Jordan DHing for the Blues. And on the mound, for the first time this summer, Eric Cavidal, the right-hander from Cal Poly SLO.
Right here in sunny San Luis Obispo, he's to play in front of a lot of his own fans, Mustang fans. And on a beautiful day, his first start. Played at the College of Marin prior to his time with the Stangs.
Limited action at Cal Poly this past season. Only made 3 appearances for the Mustangs, only 2 innings of work, and 7 earned runs with 4 strikeouts and no walks. Cavidal trying to change it around here for Dean Trainer and staff. Actually had a chance to see a bullpen from Cavidal yesterday. Some limited work, a little bit of a ramp up to get ready for today's start, and he's ready to go. A big frame as well, 6'5", 225 pounds. Blues are lucky to have him as a Napa native, playing against what you could call his hometown team, if you will, in the Sonoma Stompers. So now here's Colton Boardman, today's leadoff man for Sonoma, just like he was yesterday. Here's Cavidal from the windup in the first pitch, and Boardman takes it right at 6:09 p.m. It's strike one. Bit of a later start today at Sinsheimer Stadium, but 6:09 is the first pitch with a 77-degree and sunny evening on the Central Coast. Boardman swings, and it's a towering pop-up into right field. Ashlock ranging, and he calls off the second baseman Henderson, and that's the first out of the inning.
First time we're seeing Ashlock out in right field as a Blue. A lot of left field action for him with Don Jordan, usually the right fielder, but today Raymond gets the nod in left, and Don Jordan will be the designated hitter.
So now it's Max Handren. Handren had a pretty good day yesterday for the Stompers, a 3-for-5 day, and an RBI double, scored 2 runs, stole a base, and was a big contributor to that offense for Sonoma. First pitch, he flinches on a ball missing high, 1-0.
Vidal's a 3-pitch guy, fastball, slider, changeup, heavy fastball and slider, just because of 6'5", 220.
1-0, and it's a called strike, 1-1. And Cavidal pitched in 2 seasons, and a 3.18 earned run average, and 116 strikeouts over 127 and a third innings pitched. As this one's hit off the front foot and fouled by Handren, 1-2. That was at College of Marin before transferring to Cal Poly, entering his senior season with the Stangs.
Seems pretty confident in that changeup, back-to-back changeups to start Handren off. Low 80s on that pitch.
Low 1-2 to Max Handren. Fastball swung on and missed. First strikeout in a Blues uniform for Eric Cavidal. And that's the second out of the first inning.
Looking good so far, making quick work of this Stompers order. So what the Blues need some confidence. Last night they gave up 2 runs in the top of the first inning, and might have contributed to the Blues' slow bats.
Yesterday, Colton Boardman led off this game with a walk, and then eventually came around to score on an error from Artois short. First pitch swinging here is McCann Libby over to the third baseman Comerford, who makes a nice throw on the run. 3 up, 3 down for Eric Cavidal, his first start in a Blues uniform. Scoreless in the bottom half of the first inning. Slow Blues Streaming Network. Bottom of the first inning, here's your starting lineup for the San Luis Obispo Blues. E.J. Royal leads it off and plays center field. Cade O'Hara, the shortstop, bats second with the right fielder Mason Ashlock batting third. Don Jordan DHs today and cleans it up with Andrew Raymond playing in left and batting fifth. Brendan Comerford at the hot corner batting sixth. Eli Henderson returns to second base and he'll bat seventh. Sebastian Lopez making his Blues debut in 2025 batting eighth. And Charlie Caruso, the catcher, bats ninth for San Luis Obispo. On the mound for the Sonoma Stompers, it's the right-handed pitcher from Grand Canyon University, Devin Laginto. The Blues saw him last time when they were up north in Sonoma Valley. 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and a walk, no strikeouts. First pitch to E.J. Royal to call ball inside. E.J. last night's walk-off hero in the bottom of the 12th inning against the Stompers. Fastball swung on and missed for strike one. An RBI single in the left center gap, bringing in the automatic runner. A 1-1. And Royal hits a high bouncing ball to the left side. Handren's got it. Make the throw on the run. It's in time for the first out of the inning.
I think EJ just got caught off guard. Laginto works quick, really, really fast, which is a thing I love. But it can catch you off guard a little bit when you have a little routine when you step in the box. And the pitcher just is already in his motion while you're still getting ready.
As a hitter, I did not like facing guys who worked quickly. I always tried to play the game of calling timeout as frequently as possible to mess with the timing. Here's O'Hara. First pitch is a half swing, and it dribbles into the on-deck circle off to the right for strike one. O'Hara didn't get the start yesterday at short. That was Sam Ardois, but he came in and pitched 3 innings of relief for San Luis Obispo and looked spectacular. 3-pitch mix for him.
Best 3 innings I think we've seen from him all summer.
0-1, and O'Hara pops it up to the right side. The right fielder, Shannon, makes a couple steps to his left and makes the grab for the second out. I would have to agree. He's usually a fastball slider guy, incorporated the changeup, and it was kind of just all of a sudden it worked really well for him. We knew he was kind of developing that pitch throughout the offseason and his time at Texas and a little bit in the bullpens here in SLO, but haven't seen too much game action on that changeup. We saw it for the first time really against the Stompers, and it looked great. Mason Ashlock takes a pitch inside for ball one. Mason a 2-for-4 day yesterday. 3 stolen bases. He entered the game with just 1. A sweeper missing outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Also a couple of walks for Ashlock as well. Today's right fielder, he's frequently been playing left for the Blues and changing it up a bit. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop Boardman, who throws it over to first in time. Back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings. Headed to the second scoreless. SLO Blues streaming network.
Hey fans, be careful.
Couple of 1, 2, 3 half innings to finish out the first. We're now into the second scoreless. Sonoma Stompers versus the San Luis Obispo Blues. Middle of the order due up for Sonoma. Brady Shannon, Connor Pulowski, and Paul Lazul against Eric Kavidal, making his first start in a Blues uniform in 2025. First pitch, and Shannon swings and misses for strike one. Brady, the right fielder, batting fourth, had a 2-for-6 afternoon yesterday, an RBI double and 2 strikeouts. And check that. That was a triple over the head of Don Jordan in right field. Here's the 0-1. Shannon flinches on a slider outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It was lined over the head of Don Jordan. Probably had some knuckle action because the right fielder, Jordan, misplayed it. Took a couple steps in before booking it towards the fence. 1-1. Shannon swings and misses on the sweeper for strike 2. And already we're seeing Kvidal work that sweeper to these right-handed hitters, and it's working really well.
And we saw the changeup a lot in the first inning. Gone to the sweeper here against Shannon, who showed off the power yesterday.
1-2. Shannon takes a sweeper, missing outside, not by much. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brady. A Penguin from Youngstown State set a record in 5 different offensive categories this past year with the Penguins. Slugging, OPS, home runs, walks, and extra base hits. 2-2. Shannon fouls it to the left. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Those are some pretty good categories to have single season records in at a Division I program in Youngstown State. 10 homers, that's a single season record. 461 is a single season slugging record. Shannon takes the elevated fastball for strike 3. Brady Shannon's caught looking. Second K of the day for Eric Kvidal.
It's the longest at bat of the day for Kvidal, but he's looked really good thus far, just pounding the strike zone. Hitters are not seeing his pitch mix very well. It could benefit him going into the later innings. A lot of these guys are not going to have seen all 3 of his pitches, and then he can start mixing all of them in.
We're also seeing Kvidal, the blue starter, and Linginto, the Stompers starter, work very quickly as well. First pitch to Connor Pulowski, misses, and it's a called strike, 0-1.
I'm a proponent for the CCL to adopt the pitch clock.
I'm all for it as well. 0-1. Pulowski watches a sweeper miss outside, 1-1.
So I like this long, or this quick work from both the starters.
Well, we know that Cape Cod implemented a pitch clock as well. 1-1. And Pulowski takes outside, 2-1.
I mean, it makes sense. Both pitchers are Division I guys. They have the pitch clock in their spring season, so why not work quick as well during the summer when you're working on other things? This is how you're going to have to play in the spring.
From the windup, a couple of deep breaths from Kvidal. Pitch missing inside, 3-1. And maybe we're thinking too far in the future as well, but even if you're a Division I guy or a D2 or whatever level college guy and your goal is to play professional baseball, you're going to run to the pitch clock again in the minor leagues too, so might as well get your practice in now. I'm a big proponent of that. 3-1 to Pulowski. Buckled up on a sweeper, and it's outside for ball 4. Didn't miss by much on the pitch, trying to nibble on the outer half, and first base runner for Eric Kvidal.
Not a bad slider, but it shows how much confidence he has in that pitch. And a 3-1 count, it's the pitch he goes to. So that means we're going to see that pitch in high leverage situations later in the game as well.
And so there goes the perfect game for Eric Kvidal, and it's Paul Lazul with a runner on first and 1 out. Lazul saw late action in yesterday's game, a walk-off winner for the Blues. Takes the first pitch inside, 1-0. He pinch hit for Trent Keys, a Spartan from San Jose State. And he struck out looking in the top of the 12th inning. Average lead at first base. Here's the 1-0. And Lazul flinches on a pitch outside, 2-0. Connor Pulowski over at first base, the catcher. Only 1 stolen base this past season at Butte Community College. A 2-0. And Lazul swings and misses on a changeup for strike 1. And there's that changeup we were talking about in the first inning of work for Kvidal. He shows it here in the second.
Good bounce back pitch right there. You throw 5 out of the zone in a row, then you find the outside corner and get a swing and miss.
And throwing a changeup on a 2-0 count. It's just kind of modern baseball for you. Pick over to first, not in time to get Pulowski. Typically, you could sit on certain pitches and certain areas of the count. Like 2-0, you're anticipating a fastball. And with the way pitchers have developed nowadays and pitching backwards to guys, you can throw any pitch in any count. You can't really sit on anything in any count. 2-1. Lazul swings and misses another changeup for strike 2. And there you go again, back-to-back changeup. Lazul in the driver's seat in that at-bat in a 2-1 count. And again, he gets the changeup from Kvidal. So now tough with 2, the left-handed hitting first baseman Paul Lazul. 2-2 to Paul. Runner on first and 1 out. Top of the second inning, the pitch. And he leaves a fastball high, 3-2. Azul just spent his past season at Monterey Peninsula Community College, and with the Lobos, drove in 10 runs on 14 hits and 4 doubles and 1 homer. A former commit to Loyola Marymount, but decommitted last second. 3-2, lined right back up the middle, almost taking the head off Kvidal, a base hit. Pulowski moves into second base. First knock of the day for the Stompers comes hot off the press from Paul Azul.
Right back where he came from at 96. That's a good swing right there.
At the plate now for the Blues, number 12.
Azul finds a barrel. Back-to-back base runners after the leadoff strikeout looking from Brady Shannon. And now it's Kieran Baker. Baker, the center fielder today, replacing Landon Akers, who was hit by a pitch yesterday off the front foot and then hit his eye. Look in his eyeball today. Looked to be okay, kind of a precautionary day off. And from what we've heard, he was anticipating a day off today anyways, as Baker takes a slider for strike 1. Akers has been getting a lot of playing time for these Stompers, and rightfully so. Their most productive bat on the team. But now you lose a big offensive presence for Sonoma off the heels of a walk-off loss. 0-1, and Baker gets hit in the lower back with a pitch inside. So now that'll load the bases for Anthony Shepler, who has struggled, at least playing against the Blues. He was 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. He was hit by a pitch himself and walked as well.
Vidal looked good through those first 4 batters, and since then it's just been a little scary. A lot of pitches not finding the zone, a walk, a hit by pitch, get into a 2-ball count against Lazul. Just got to dial it back in here, get a ground ball, get out this inning.
From the right side of the rubber, Kvidal delivers. Shepler takes a first pitch strike on the outer half, 0-1. Anthony, an Ohio State transfer, spent his first season of college baseball with the Buckeyes this past year. Limited action, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in that whole season. Swinging and missing on a sweeper for strike 2. Ben Sebastiani stands on deck. He's the cousin of yesterday's left fielder, Nick Sebastiani. Bases loaded, 1 out, and 0-2 count to Shepler. From the windup, here's Kvidal. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout at 90 miles an hour. Kvidal climbs the ladder, second out of the second inning.
Big strikeout situation. Now you're just an out away from getting out of this inning after you walk a batter and hit a batter and the Ducks are quacking.
This would be a big out if Kvidal could get out of this jam. It started as a bases loaded, 1 out situation. 2 gone now for Sebastiani, a left fielder batting 9th. First pitch, and Sebastiani takes a called strike down the middle. Ben is recovering from a broken arm, an injury sustained in February of 2025. This year shortened his stint in his first year at College of Marin. Sebastiani grounds it out to O'Hara at second, who goes to Henderson. He'll tap on the bag to force out. So Kvidal escapes the jam. It's still a scoreless ball game heading to the bottom half of the second inning, which is brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union and Slow Boost Streaming Network. Bottom of the second inning is brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union. Proudly serving the Central Coast, EECU is located in Paso Robles and can be found at myeecu.org. Experience smarter banking at Educational Employees Credit Union. Middle of the order due up, Don Jordan leads it off. The first pitch misses low for ball one. Eric Kvidal escaped a bases-loaded jam the top half of the second. A single from Paul Lazul that almost took Kvidal's head off. A walk from Pulowski and a hit by pitch to Baker. And he got a ground out to Cade O'Hara to escape. Here's a looper into right. Leaping is Libby. He can't make the play. Leadoff single for Don Jordan, and it's the first hit of the day for the Blues.
70 miles an hour, gets the job done. That's all you need. It's a leadoff knock, a runner on first. Doesn't matter how it gets there. 70 mile an hour base hit, 100 mile an hour right back up the middle. It's all the same in my scorebook.
Don Jordan fueling that .344 batting average heading into today's game. And here's Andrew Raymond, who has 2 hits on the summer with the Blues, and they're both doubles. And a pick over to first, and Jordan is out. Don Jordan must have caught a wet part of the dirt. He couldn't slide back to first like he usually does, and he's picked off. Sort of the last guy you would expect to see picked off. He's the fastest runner on the team, and frankly a headsy base runner as well, and you don't see that often. Raymond watches the first pitch on a called strike.
Back-to-back nights the Blues have gotten a runner picked off, and last night it cost them a run.
0-1, and Raymond takes it downstairs, 1-1.
Ardwal got picked off and would have scored in that inning had he not. So we'll see if that'll come back to bite the Blues here.
From the windup, the 1-1. Raymond swings, and it's a towering fly ball into right field. Shannon to his right, makes the grab, tumbling on top of the line. Nice play by Brady Shannon in right, showing off that quarterback athleticism in right field. 2 outs in the second.
Wow, that was an incredible play down that line. That ball had a little bit of hook to it, too. It was not a normal slice that you might see from a lefty. It was hooking towards that line. The wind kills baseballs out in right field, though. Hung up a little bit. A good play by Shannon. And
Raymond squared it up well. He's squared up a couple doubles this season, and this one doesn't go his way. Here's the first pitch to Brendan Comerford, missing inside, 1-0. And Linguinto certainly working quickly, and the Blues batters having to adjust to that right now. 1-0. Comerford swings and misses at a sweeper for strike 1. Haven't seen a pitcher work this quickly since the last time they faced Linguinto. A 1-1. And a slider mishandled, and it's yanked outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Comerford. Brendan in yesterday's game came in late, went 0 for 1 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a double play. He spoils it to the left down the third base line and foul. 2-2 to Comerford. Comerford grounded into that double play in the 11th inning. We don't see that often. He usually lifts the baseball in the air a lot more. The 2-2. And Brendan watches a slider low. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. It was a situation in that double play where you felt really good about Comerford coming in with runner in scoring position and 1 out. All you have to do is put the ball in the air and the runner tags from third. A rare ground ball double play. Comerford sends this one up and out of play, off to the right, and again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Comerford hitting, and Eli Henderson stands on deck. Last time he played was 2 weeks ago at Sonoma. Comerford watches the slider for strike 3. Comerford thought it was ball 4, but he'll head back into the dugout with a backwards K. Don Jordan picked off at first. Shannon with a great play in right, and Comerford goes down looking. We head into the 3rd inning, 0-0 on the Slow Blues Streaming Network. Top of the order due up for Sonoma. Scoreless ball game in the top of the third inning. Eric Kvidal back out there for his third inning of work. Boardman shows bunt. He gets it down on the left side, coming for charges. Makes the running throw, and it's offline. It goes into right field as Boardman rounds first and heads into second base. He'll get in there standing. Ashlock has the baseball, and Boardman heads into third now. Here comes the throw. That gets away, and Boardman will stay at third.
Throwing the ball all around the yard, and a Colton Boardman bunt gets him to third base.
So we'll chalk it up as a hit from Boardman, and then an error on the throw from Ashlock in right field. 270-foot single for Eric Boardman, and the go-ahead run 90 feet away for Sonoma. And we talked about before the mistakes with the preventable errors, the throwing errors, and that's one right there from Mason Ashlock and right. So now it's Max Handren, who struck out swinging the last time he was up, and he's a recipient of ball one here. Handren terrorized the Blues last night, 3 for 5 with an RBI double, 2 runs, a stolen bag. Here he is with a runner at third and a 1-0 count. Handren watches a changeup for strike one. One and one count to Handren, the third baseman batting second, trying to find a spot in a Frontier League baseball team this year. 1-1. Handren takes inside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Max Handren. A former Cal Berkeley Bear, very familiar with Nico Button, the Blues catcher, who will get the start tomorrow against the Arroyo Seco Saints. They've reunited a couple times on this road trip to the Central Coast. Here's the 2-1. Boardman swings and bounces it off to the right and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Handren originally went to St. Bonaventure University in upstate New York. That's where Gavin Constantine currently plays for the Bonnies. And then after a season there, spent 2 at Santa Rosa Junior College and is a triple COVID senior at Berkeley. He will not be returning to the Golden Bears. 2-2. Leaves it high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Boardman got on a 270-foot single. An error from Mason Ashlock in right field. And Boardman went first to third on the play. Payoff. And it's a pitch outside, ball 4.
Not by much, but gonna go as a walk. It was very close. He loves that backdoor slider to the lefties, especially in 2 strike counts. Went with it there and just missed.
And according to our technologies, it was registered as a strike. But as long as it's consistent, it's playable for the Blues and the Stompers. Runners on first and third now, and it's McCann Libby. Takes the first pitch outside, 1-0.
Vidal finds himself in another situation. Runners on the corners, no outs. He got out of a bases loaded 1-out jam last inning. We'll see if he can work his magic again.
From the belt, a deep sigh, and the 1-0. The pitch lined the opposite way. Ashlock charges, and he dives and makes the grab. But tagging from third is Boardman. Here comes the throw, and it is way offline, but a sacrifice fly from McCann Libby. A dazzling play in right field by Mason Ashlock.
A really great play. I mean, that saved 2 runs. If that ball gets down past him, we're probably getting that runner scoring from first base. Mason Ashlock flashing the leather in a place we haven't seen him at all this summer.
It feels weird writing that down as a sacrifice fly because of how great that catch was. It feels like it should count a little bit more as that for the Blues defense. It's an SF in the book, and it's Brady Shannon who struck out looking the last time he was up to lead off the second. They pick over to first, and Handren doesn't have any trouble sliding back into the bag safely. Shannon's still waiting for his first offering. Shannon is playing right field for Sonoma, and he actually had a really good catch the last half inning. Check over at first to Handren again, no avail. Still waiting on that first offering is Brady Shannon.
Yeah, there's an extra base hit saving grab ranging to his glove side.
From the stretch, the first pitch to Shannon, and Brady takes it high, 1-0. And I just love talking about the athletic career of Brady Shannon, a 2-sport player. I can never say that enough. That's so impressive to do at a Division I college for 2 different Division I colleges.
Especially UCF, good football school.
Yeah. Now in the Big 12 after leaving the American Conference, the 1-0. Shannon swings and misses at a slider for strike 1.
I mean, he looks the part. 6'2", 225. Yeah, that is a big quarterback.
Be curious to see him run that option.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go head on against that.
Size of a linebacker.
Yeah. Check over at first, and Handren's back in time. 1-1 still to Brady Shannon.
Right-hander and Eric DeVito against the 6'2".
Will Mike linebacker fill in that C gap? I'm thinking once or twice.
I have a feeling he's shifty, too. He can run through you, or he's giving you the spin move and getting to the outside.
Yeah. 1-1. And Shannon takes high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Especially the way we saw him move in right field in the last inning. Yeah, he definitely got a nice little jump cut to him.
On the Penguins, he played 3 games at quarterback. He had 4 carries for 18 yards against Valparaiso and 2 rushes for 19 yards, including a season-long 14-yard run. Move those chains. Shannon ducks on a slider, missing inside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Not getting those calls going, the slider on the front hip that buckles hitters and finds its way back into the zone. That's something Vito might have to take out of his mix here, going the second time through the order.
3-1 count and a short lead at first for Handren. The pitch, and Shannon takes it low. It gets underneath the legs of Caruso, and runners move up another 90 feet. Keeps the line moving for Connor Pulowski. 3 walks this game, 2 of them coming in this inning for Eric Cavidal. Command starting to wane. As a meeting at the mound comes together as Pulowski digs in. Connor, the last time he was up, walked with 1 out in the second and was stranded at third base. Pulowski is a native of San Jose, California, and is entering his redshirt senior season at Chico State. Check that at Bellarmine. Spent his first season at Chico State, then 2 at Butte Community College, now playing for the Knights at Bellarmine with Landon Akers, who is taking a rest day today for Sonoma. Out there in Louisville, Kentucky. Runners on first and second. Here's Pulowski. Resting his bat on his shoulders, now picking it up. With 1 out, here's the first pitch. And Pulowski pops it up high in the air to the right side and in foul ground. Lopez, the first baseman, makes the flat-footed grab for the second out of the inning.
It's a big out. 1 pitch, 1 out to Pulowski after a walk. Now you're 1 out away against Paul Lazul, who has one of the 2 hits for the Stompers in today's game. Let him put the ball in play, let the defense work.
And it was a rocket right back up the middle at 97 miles an hour, almost taking the hat off of Cavidal's head. Zool finding barrel, but was stranded at second base. The Stompers have scored the first run of the ball game off a sacrifice fly in right. A nice play from Ashlock, but Boardman tagged from third and scored. First pitch missing outside, 1-0. It was Colton Boardman who had a 270-foot single. The throw over to first went wide, and an error from Ashlock, and an even wider throw to third base. 1-0 is fouled straight back for strike 1. Azul's 6 hits in his 23 at-bats coming into this game, a 357 clip. I checked that 261 clip, 357 on base. With 2 outs, peek at second, the 1-1. And he swings, and it's a hard chopper to Lopez, who backhands it at first, flips it over to the bag, and in time. What a play by Sebastian Lopez, the primary middle infielder, getting it done with a bigger mitt at first base. So Eric Cavidal does it again, gets out of the jam, and we head to the bottom half of the third inning. 1-0 Sonoma on the Slow Blue Streaming Network. Bottom of the third inning, and fans, it's never too early to purchase those tickets for our signature firework game on July 3rd. Celebrate the Stars and Stripes and watch the Blues play under the lights at our biggest game of the summer. Save your seat now and secure those tickets at bluesbaseball.com. Bottom of the order, due up for San Luis Obispo, Eli Henderson, Sebastian Lopez, and Charlie Caruso. And what is now a 1-0 ball game, a sacrifice fly in the top of the third inning off the bat of McCann Libby scored Colton Boardman from third, as Henderson is the recipient of strike one against Devin Laginto. Henderson, the last time he played, it was against the Stompers on June 3rd, almost 2 weeks ago. Pitch missing outside, 1-1. In that game, he went 2 for 4 with a walk and a run scored, and making his return to a Blues uniform today. Fastball missing outside, 2-1 to the second baseman, Henderson.
Good to see him back here. Only played one game at home for the Blues. Really rangy out at second base. Good bat.
The 2-1. Henderson swings right back up the middle and off the shin of Laginto. The ball kicks to the second baseman, Libby. There will be no throw to the bag. Single for Eli Henderson. And Laginto might have lost a fibia in the process.
He looks fine. I think it hit a good part of the leg. Fortunately, there's a lot of bad places to hit in the leg. Also, a lot of good places. If you can get hit on the inner thigh, that's not bad. Honestly, anywhere on the thigh is not a bad place to be. It looks like, Zach Pace came out and immediately told him, I'm good.
And like we've said, Devin Laginto is a guy who likes to work with a ton of pace. So any delay in his game, he wants no part of. Whether you take a 90-mile-an-hour liner off the leg, it doesn't matter. Get me back on the bump. Let's throw strike one immediately. So here's Sebastian Lopez making his Blues debut in 2025. A frequent customer last summer in the 2024 Blues. A Red Hawk from Seattle University. The first pitch, and Lopez takes a sweeper for strike one. Laginto getting a lot of vertical break on that slider. It's not quite a curveball because there's some horizontal movement too. It's like you said yesterday. We saw a pitcher throw a sweeper and a slider. Runner takes off the second. The pitch is inside, and tagging out Henderson is Libby, and it wasn't even close.
Not close at all. I didn't see if he slipped or something along those lines, but the new turfus that was put down over the road trip could have played a factor there.
Well, Henderson looks like he got a pretty decent jump going over to second base, but maybe ran into some quicksand, as you said, Ryan, with that turfus, as Lopez fouls it off for strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sebastian Lopez. Seabass, a Slocal in his heart, moved over to Las Vegas, Nevada later in life. Lopez swings and misses for strike 3. So a pickoff in the second, and now a caught stealing in the third. And this one's followed up by a strikeout for Lopez, making his 2025 Blues debut.
Yeah, you've had 2 leadoff base runners in this game, and both of them get thrown out on the bases. Not what you want to do when you get leadoff base runners. You know, maybe be more aggressive on the base pass with 2 outs and a runner on first, but you would love to just manufacture runs.
Here's Caruso. First pitch to Charlie, misses outside, 1-0. The left-handed hitting catcher from Northwestern, making his second start of the summer for the Blues. Still looking for that first hit. Has only had 4 at-bats this season. Pitch misses inside, 2-0.
The thing with getting picked off or caught stealing, too, it's a momentum killer. You get on base, a leadoff hit, and then you just get thrown out.
Here's a 2-0. And Caruso flinches, but the changeup hits the outer half for strike 1.
Hitters like the idea of getting up there with an opportunity to drive in runs. So you can be on base. Give some more confidence to the guys behind you.
The 2-1. Caruso bounces it up the middle in time for Boardman to get there, who makes the throw on the run. Good stretch by Blazul, and it's in time. Nice play by the shortstop. Boardman retires Caruso for the third out of the third inning. We headed into the fourth. Blues trail 1-0 against the Stompers on the Slow Blues streaming network. Top of the fourth inning, a 1-0 ball game. Stompers lead over the SLO Blues. 7, 8, 9 due up for Sonoma. Kieran Baker leading it off with Eric Cavidal back out there for his fourth inning. He shows bunt, gets it down. Comerford was charging, but he'll let it go underneath his legs and roll foul for strike one. Kieran Baker was hit by a pitch the last time he was up, hitting him in the tailbone. And he looks to be okay right now as he walks back to the batter's box.
A good play there by Comerford to let that go. The only thing that scared me a little bit is with the turfus, some indents can be made when runners are just running in that area, or anybody for that matter, and it could pop the ball back into fair territory. And so with him running over that ball, could have been scary with it bouncing back in play.
Here's the 0-1 to Baker, and he swings and whiffs at a slider for strike two. Yeah, and I was going to say, you can kind of see some craters down the third baseline, too, that would have caused some problematic spin onto that ball, would have made it a tough play for Comerford. Good field there. Here's the 0-2, and Baker goes down swinging on the sweeper. Gone fishing, looking for some halibut. You can't find that here. And that's strikeout number 4 for Cavidal today.
Hey, you've been fishing a lot. What can you find here?
Yeah, you can find a lot of sand sharks in the area. A lot of fish that unfortunately are not edible, I have come to find out. There's some rockfish in the area. The shovelhead shark, that one's kind of freaky looking. I kind of hope I don't catch that one. Pitch is in there for a strike to Anthony Shepler for strike one. But it's a good time. I've recently taken on fishing to add on to my very male hobbies. Shepler takes outside 1-1.
Golf, baseball, fishing, hunting, fishing, loving every day.
Yes. Working out. Hanging out with friends. The typical stuff you hear on a player bio. Here's the 1-1. Off the hands and into the Stompers bullpen for strike two. It's very relaxing, though, just sitting out on the pier.
You got some music, a little speaker going?
Yeah. Not a speaker, though. I like to keep it in the ears, in the AirPods.
Okay. I respect that.
It's like hiking, which is another one of my man hobbies. You're playing music on the speaker, no feel. 1-2. Shepler takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Caruso had to come out of his squat to get there.
I got to say, sometimes the speaker is feel. Today, I went on a bike ride down Bob Jones Trail, had speaker in the backpack, and I was playing some oldies, and some ladies were singing along with me.
2-2, Shepler takes outside, full count now. No, I agree with that. That's a good feel move.
Yeah, I can't remember the song exactly, but it was like a group of 3 women, and they like all started singing in sync together as they heard the song as I was biking past them.
Yes. Payoff pitch, and it misses high. That's ball 4 to Anthony Shepler. Shepler, who walked and was hit by a pitch yesterday, draws another walk here in the top of the 4th inning.
Nobody getting loose for the Blues yet, although Vidal's lost his command a little bit ever since that strikeout to Brady Shannon in the 2nd inning. See how long Dean Trainer's leash is on Cavidal.
So here's Ben Sebastiani, who grounded out to Kate O'Hara the last time he was up, and he worked with a runner on first base. Last time he was up, he grounded out with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and Cavidal got out of the jam. Misses on the first pitch outside to Sebastiani for ball 1. And at our age, if you have music tastes like that and you someone of an older demographic listens to it and they like it, that's like the ultimate seal of approval. And as that pitch misses high, 2-0 to Sebastiani.
I don't know what's up with me. I've been on a real oldies kick lately. A lot of Frank Sinatra, Louis Armstrong.
Oh, that's really old.
Yeah.
I was thinking 60s, 70s. That's where I like to stay. The 2-0. And a sweeper and a called strike on a 2-0 count. 2-1 now to Ben Sebastiani.
Those are great songs to cook to. I love cooking to 40s, 50s songs.
That's good. Open stance for Sebastiani. 2-1 buckles him up, and a sweeper missing inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Cavidal's not getting that sweeper to go on the home plate umpire. He's trying his best to hit it on different spots at the plate and just really can't find a spot that isn't right down the middle for a strike. Here's the 3-1, and Sebastiani takes high, ball 4. Back-to-back walks from Eric Cavidal, and runners on first and second now.
Gotta think that leash is getting shorter and shorter right now. Back-to-back walks to the 8 and 9 hitters. A lot of people moving around over there in the bullpen, but no one actually throwing yet.
A lot of bodies moving, a couple guys swinging bats. Don Jordan, the DH, is ready to go with his elbow guard on.
Now there's a righty.
But for now, the Blues just trying to get out of another jam here with runners on first and second. The leadoff man, Colton Boardman, up, who singled. Boardman's first pitch swinging and grounds it foul to the right, strike one.
Very, very close to being a fair ball and a RBI double. Vidal gets another opportunity.
Lopez, who is a primary middle infielder, who can play some third base too, playing first, and he played first late in yesterday's game as well, something we have only seen maybe once or twice his career with the Blues. Here's number 3 and 4 this week at Sinsheimer. The 0-1, and a swing and a foul tip behind home plate, strike 2 to Boardman. Colton 0 for 3 yesterday with 2 walks and a hit by pitch. He did score 3 runs every time he reached base. He stole a bag and scored a run as an automatic runner in the 11th inning. Shadows slowly draping over the mound at Sinsheimer. This is the second day of summer. The 0-2. And a pitch missing inside, ball 1. Again, not missing by much, and Cavito's not getting those close calls. Makes it harder for a right-hander with good breaking stuff and a good fastball to get ahead when you can't get those 50-50 calls.
I like that spot, though, in an 0-2 count. Drop a changeup off of it, maybe.
A 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's a nice slider from Eric Cavito, and his 5th strikeout of the day.
At this point, it's pretty much walk or strikeout for Cavito. Would love to eliminate the walks and just keep the strikeouts.
That's the name of the game for him. A similar game to Chase Vialli. We'll see either a walk or strikeout.
Easier said than done.
Of course.
I threw a strike in a bullpen too today.
You did.
It was maybe 50 miles an hour, but you didn't have to move the glove.
No.
It was right there.
Sharp cutter. There's Max Handren, an 0 for 1 day with a strikeout and a walk. And the first pitch slider to him is a called strike.
He just loves that slider against lefties. It works so well for him, and I think he's getting a little more gracious calls on the outer part of the plate, so it works a little better coming back into the zone.
Yeah, trying to hammer that spot even more with the changeup and the slider now. Up 0-1 against Handren. He goes back to it, just missed the mark a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's
a good pitch, though, in an 0-1 count. You just miss an outside part, and now Handren has to be ready for that pitch to creep back into the zone.
Cavito comes set, runners on first and second, Blues down by 1. Pitch missing inside, Caruso lunges to his right. 2 balls and 1 strike to Handren. Handren's last season at Cal Berkeley, a .242 average, drove in 34 runs and his 36 hits. 9 home runs for the Golden Bears. Deep sigh for Cavito, he comes home. 2-1 misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike to Handren.
Don't really want to walk a runner to third base right here. Just find the strike zone, go to whatever pitch you feel the most comfortable with. I think it's been the slider for him. See what he goes.
Comes set on the stretch at the belt. The 3-1. Swung on and missed on a high fastball for strike 2. Eric Cavito trying to get out of another self-inflicted jam in the 4th inning. Stompers up 1-0 over the Blues. Gets his sign from Caruso behind home plate. They're on the same page. The payoff with 2 outs. Hit the opposite way, and it falls in front of Raymond for a base hit. Here's a green light from Shepler. The throw is cut off in the infield, and an RBI single for Max Handren makes it a 2-0 ball game.
It's a good piece of 2-strike hitting from Max Handren. Bring that runner across. It was a for sure RBI with the runners going. Blues trail 2-0 like they did last night.
It was the slider once again from Cavito. Just kind of hung it a little bit too much, and we talked about how he was trying to hammer that outer half of the zone to left-handed hitters. He tried to do so there. The slider just didn't break as well as he would have liked. A hanger, and Handren took it the opposite way. So 1-0 count now to McCann Libby, who's 0 for 1 today with a sacrifice fly in the third. Runners on first and second. Sebastiani at second and Handren at first. Here's Libby, who's already driven in a run today, and he hits a hard liner to Cade, who can't make the play at shortstop. Getting waved around is Sebastiani. The throw comes to home. It's offline. Another RBI single for the Stompers. Makes it a 3-0 ball game.
These walks are coming back to haunt Cavidal. Both walks he issued have now scored on back-to-back RBI base hits from the 2 and 3 hitters. Never really want to walk the 8 or 9 hitters and put base runners on for the top of the order, and he did that, and it's biting him in the butt.
And self-inflicted wounds coming around to haunt Cavidal as manager Dean Traynor heads out there to talk to his right-hander. Well, another right-hander is getting loose in the Blues bullpen. I'm trying to figure who that is for you guys. Looks like it's Matt Betancourt, the Firebird or the Sunbird from Fresno Pacific. A Visalia, California native getting loose in the pen. But for now, it's still Cavidal trying to get out of this jam and what is inflated into a 3-0 ball game against the Blues. The trainer will walk back into the dugout. Dean delivered a fiery speech to the squad before today's game, trying to get their heads right and put themselves in a better situation so they don't have to play 12 innings to beat the Stompers.
And yesterday, before the game, Dean sattled the pitchers down. There's a good group of them, but 13 games in 14 days. Pretty much told them, need you guys to take care of your arms. We're going to have a lot of you are going to throw a lot of innings over the next 2 weeks. We need all of you to pitch well. We need all of you to take care of your arms. Don't hurt yourself.
There's the first pitch to Brady Shannon, and he leaves it outside. Snap back over to first, and Sebastian Lopez with some bunnies, preventing that from going into the outfield.
Yeah, I like the idea. Huge secondary over there at first by Libby, but way too high.
So runners still at first and second. A 1-0 count to Brady Shannon. And Shannon chases the high fastball for strike one. That seems to be the soft spot for Brady Shannon, is that high fastball. He seems to chase it rather frequently. And if I'm Cavidal, I'm hammering that spot all day. Mix it in with maybe a slider outside. We'll see where he goes on the 1-1. It's a slider outside and a called strike.
Maybe get some help there from his catcher, Caruso. A nice little frame job. A pitch maybe, in my opinion, missed maybe an inch or two outside. Very close, though.
Stompers up 3-0 in the top of the fourth inning. A 2-run inning with Brady Shannon in a 1-2 count with 2 outs. The pitch. Shannon swings, hits it off the hands and in front of the press box. Do it again at 1-2. Shannon in the midst of a battle against Eric Cavidal, right-hander from Cal Poly. The Mustangs made it to a regional this year in Eugene, Oregon. Snagged a walk-off victory against Utah Valley. That was fun.
And not only did they made it to the regional final.
That's right. 1-2. And Shannon takes outside 2-2. So Zach Daudet with the walk-off homer.
So Nate and I, on our most recent podcast episode, made our College World Series predictions. Arkansas LSU right now. LSU just took the lead in the top of Arkansas just took the lead in the top of the ninth. Nate has winning it all.
Yep. The 2-2. And Shannon rolls inside on a changeup missing. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Ryan has heard me say this 10 million times, but I famously had Arkansas winning the whole thing before the season started.
Been high on them the whole time. 3rd-ranked team going into the regionals, and they've proven to be a good team. They got to win 2 against LSU though.
Payoff pitch, and it's a high and deep fly ball to left field. Raymond moving to his right. He's at the warning track and makes a nice running grab to retire the side and strand 2 runners in scoring position. But not before a couple of RBI singles from Max Handren and McCann Libby, making it a 3-0 ball game. Home half of the 4th inning on a Slow Boost streaming network, brought to you by Ancient Owl.
And 22.
Bottom of the fourth is brought to you by Ancient Owl Beer Garden and Bottle Shop, your go-to spot for every Blues road game. Located just around the corner from Sinsheimer, Ancient Owl is the official home of the Blues watch party all season long. Ancient Owl, choose your beer wisely. Top of the order for San Luis Obispo. They now trail 3-0 against the Sonoma Stompers. E.J. Royal takes the first pitch slider low for ball one. And Royal last night, I would imagine, had free drinks downtown. Slider swung on and missed for strike one. Yesterday's walk-off hero on a hard-hit line drive into left center, scoring the winning run and bringing the Blues a 7-6 W. 1-1. Royal takes it for a strike 1 and 2.
Now you said on the broadcast, get that man a steak dinner, and we talked to him, no steak dinner.
No steak.
But you got to think he's getting good treatment from Blues fans downtown.
1-2 missing outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. No steak dinner, but of course, a Subway sandwich before today's game.
Dude, no.
What?
I saw peanut butter and jelly. Yeah.
The 2-2. And Royal takes it for strike 3. Royal goes down looking to lead off the fourth inning. There's one gone in the frame. That is really interesting.
I know. I was down there talking with Dean Trainer, and on my way back up, I peeped that E.J. Royal was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's what the team provides for the players if they don't want to bring their own food. And E.J. was backing down one of those.
For those of you who don't know, it's a tradition for E.J. Royal before each game to eat a Subway sandwich, and it's the same order every single time. He's been doing this since high school.
It's possible he also had the Subway sandwich and just needed some extra fuel. That honestly is probably more realistic of what actually happened, but I just saw him with the PBJ.
0-1 to O'Hara. It's off the hands into the shortstop Boardman with a couple shuffles, flings it over to first in time. 2 quick outs for Devin Laginto in the fourth inning. I would imagine that's the case because that pep talk from Dean Trainer before this ball game lasted about a half an hour.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't have time. I mean, there's the Subway's 4-minute drive, 3-minute drive. Yeah. Not far. So don't ask me how I know that, but I would be really surprised if he didn't have a sandwich, a Subway sandwich.
Here's Mason Ashlock. The first pitch is a slider on the outer half for strike 1. Ashlock grounded out to the shortstop Boardman the last time he was up. Mason grounds it foul for strike 2. Ashlock a 2 for 4 night yesterday with 3 stolen bags, a couple of walks, and a couple of strikeouts too. From the windup, the 0-2. Ashlock swings and pops it up and out of the stadium. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, like Ryan and I said, Arkansas LSU underway right now in the College World Series. Into the bottom of the 9th we go. Arkansas up 5-3. And a pitch missing high to Ashlock. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mason. The 1-2. Ashlock swings and misses for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the fourth inning, the 4th K of the day for the Blues, and we head into the 5th. 3-0 Sonoma on the Slow Blues streaming network.
From Adventist Health, we have 2.
New pitcher in for the Blues. It's the Firebird or the Sunbird from Fresno Pacific, Matt Betancourt. Eric Kvidal, the Mustang from Cal Poly Slow's day is done. 4 innings of work, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. First pitch misses high and tight to Connor Pulowski for ball 1. So that was Kvidal's first start in a Blues uniform. A decent start, I would say. The only thing that Kvidal would have to work on is the walks. The 1-0. Pitch missing inside, 2 straight balls from Betancourt, 2-0 to Pulowski. Because really, aside from that, you eliminate the walks. I mean, 3 earned runs in 4 innings. Not the best ratio there, but the 5 strikeouts in 4, I'm a big fan of. Swings and tips into the backstop for strike 1.
Yeah, I mean, you got hurt in the 3rd inning with an error, but outside of that, you give up a few hard hit balls in the 4th, but both of those runners scored in the 4th on his walks. You can eliminate those. Good outing.
The 2-1. And Pulowski buckled up on a changeup inside, but it misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. Betancourt making his 4th appearance for the Blues. He's pitched 4 1/3. Allowed 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 5 earned runs in those 4 1/3. Hit in the air to left field and deep. Raymond tracks him down and backpedals to make the grab in the 5th inning.
Not a bad swing, but a little off the hands. That's why he didn't quite get all of that and hung up there for Raymond to get there.
So now it's Paul Lazule who gets the scouting report from the catcher Connor Pulowski. Lazule is 1 for 2 today. He recorded the first Stompers hit in the 2nd inning. A laser beam right up the middle, almost hitting Kvidal in the face. And then grounded into a 3-1 putout. A nice play by the first baseman Sebastian Lopez. Lazule's the first pitch swinging, and it's a 1-hop to the shortstop O'Hara, who launches it over to first, almost toppling over Sebastian Lopez for the 2nd out of the 5th inning. Always fun watching O'Hara hurl it as hard as he can across the diamond.
Yeah, we saw it when he was pitching yesterday, a bunt, and playing shortstop, or he's a shortstop on the mound, and almost an extra infielder for the Blues in that situation. The 3rd baseman didn't even really charge it because he's like, O'Hara's got this, and then he whipped it over to first.
Kieran Baker's first pitch swing on a slider for strike 1. Kieran today was hit by a pitch and struck out swinging to begin the 4th inning. In to replace Landon Akers as he pops it up high and off the hands into left center field. E.J. Royal, the center fielder, is there and makes the grab to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Matt Betancourt. Easy work as we're halfway through at Sinsheimer. Stompers up 3-0 over the Blues on the Slow Blues streaming network. Middle of the order due up for San Luis Obispo. Bottom half of the 5th inning, and the Stompers lead the Blues 3-0. It was a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning, scoring Colton Boardman, was hit by McCann Libby. And then back-to-back RBI singles from Handren and Libby in the 4th inning. And now we're here. Jordan takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Don, a former Texas Longhorn, now in the transfer portal. 1 of 1 on the day, a single in the 2nd. One of the 2 Blues base hits, and he was picked off at first. Jordan swings and misses at a sweeper for strike 1.
Both Blues base hits today got thrown out on the base pass. Don Jordan in the 2nd, Eli Henderson in the 3rd. Love another leadoff base hit, and then some good base running.
Jordan takes a slider outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And that hasn't been a theme this summer for San Luis Obispo. If anything, a strength of the team has been the havoc they wreak on the base paths. 2-1. Jordan dodges a pitch inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, a lot of quick guys, an aggressive third base coach in Regalado. It just throws teams off. It's something they're not used to, and today just a couple errors.
3-1 to Don. And Jordan flinches on a slider, a called strike on the outer half for strike 2. Full count now to Don Jordan, who was 1 for 4 yesterday with 2 walks, scored a run, struck out and stole a base. Jordan swings and dribbles it in front of home plate. It's a slow roller to the third baseman, Handren. It's picked up by Laginto, and the throw is not in time. The speedster, Don Jordan, reaches on an infield single, a swinging bunt, if you will, and outruns the stretch of Lazul at first base.
This might sound crazy, but as soon as I saw a swinging bunt, I knew Don Jordan was going to be safe because he flies down the line. And it was a much closer play than I thought it was going to be, but I pretty much knew, the hit percentage on that is 95%. He just flies down the first baseline.
The BABIP goes crazy on a hit like that for Don Jordan. And pick over to first, and Jordan's back standing.
Hey, if I was Laginto, I would do the same thing. You got picked off last time. Why not? I mean, shoot, I'll do it again right now.
And if I'm Jordan, I'm maybe taking a smaller lead. Your speed can maybe make up for a stolen base. Here's a ground ball from Raymond. Touch over to second, and the Stompers turn a double play.
Stompers turned 4 last night. They have their first this evening.
And another theme for San Luis Obispo that hasn't been relevant this summer has been the double play within these past 2 games. The Stompers turned a handful last night against the Blues, and this is the first one today coming off the bat of Andrew Raymond.
I mean, it's the first opportunity they've had, really, with there's only the Blues third base runner, and the other 2 both got picked off and caught stealing.
So now after the ground ball double play, it's Brendan Comerford with a 70% swing on a slider for strike 1.
4 double plays turned by the Stompers yesterday, make it 5 with today, the one in today's game.
Here's the 0-1. Comerford swings and whiffs at another slider outside, 0-2. Comerford struck out looking the last time he was up in the 2nd. That retired the side. Pitch misses downstairs, 1-2 to Comerford. Standing on deck, it's Eli Henderson, who recorded one of the Blues' 3 hits today. The 1-2. Comerford swings and hits it off the end of the bat to the third baseman, Handren, who flings it over to first in time, and that will do it in the 5th inning. Blues still trail 3-0 against the Stompers. We head into the 6th on the Slow Blues streaming network. 8-9-1 due up for Sonoma. They lead 3-0 over the San Luis Obispo Blues. A quicker paced ball game in the top half of the sixth inning. Anthony Schepler, Ben Sebastiani, and Colton Boardman lead it off for Sonoma against Matt Betancourt, who heads back out there. First pitch to Schepler is a called strike on the outer half. Anthony today 0 for 1, a strikeout swinging in the second and a walk in the fourth. He came around to score on an RBI single from Max Handren. That made it a 2-0 ball game. Schepler flinches, but a changeup bounces on top of home plate for ball one.
Outside of the walks, the pitching staff has looked really good today. And it doesn't really help that they're not getting anything from their hitters. Betancourt was back out there throwing out number 3 to Baker, some 7 minutes ago.
5 strikeouts in 5 innings as this one's hit on a line into right field and it falls in front of Mason Ashlock. Leadoff single for Anthony Schepler and a runner on base for the Stompers in the 6th.
Second time they've had a leadoff base runner. Last time they did, they scored a run. See if you can minimize that here. The Blues bats really need some confidence. A double play would be big here. A strikeout, a caught stealing, something along those lines. I don't think they're going to test Caruso. He's probably the best arm out of all 3 catchers for the Blues.
The Blues turned a singular double play last night, and it came off the bat of Nick Sebastiani as first pitch swing is sent to Royal in center, and an easy line drive out to the center fielder for the first out of the 6th.
It's going to give your pitcher, Betancourt, a little bit of confidence. You give up a base hit, and then right away you get a pretty weak line drive hit right at your center fielder. Now you're just a ground ball away from getting out of this inning, getting bats back up there, and getting yourself some more rest.
Yeah, you got guys behind you ready to field the baseball, especially if you work quickly like Kvidal did and Betancourt seems to be doing so far. Pitch missing inside to the leadoff man, Colton Boardman, for ball one. Colton today 1 for 3. Pop out to Ashlock, a single in the 3rd, and a strikeout swing in the 4th. The 1-0 goes the opposite way. It's a looper, and O'Hara's there to make the play at short. Rangy play from Cade O'Hara, took the proper angle on that soft pop out, and there's 2 gone in the 6th.
2 gone in the 6th for Max Handren, a walk, strikeout, and a...
And Nate is in shambles.
Here's number 40.
The Omahags have been eliminated via a walk-off from the LSU Tigers.
I would say, I don't know if you saw it, Nate, but it popped in and out of the glove of the second baseman. Full bunny hop as high as he could to try to grab it.
First pitch to Handren is a called strike 0-1.
The good news for you is that neither team, I had Oregon State winning in my prediction, you had Arkansas, neither team even have a chance to win it.
0-1 misses inside. Caruso slides to his right, 1-1. And if you watch the recent episode of The Orange Row on the YouTube channel you're watching the stream on, Ryan and I talked about the College World Series and we made our predictions. And I think both of our brackets are in the dumpster. Pitch missing high, 2-1.
You know when you make a March Madness bracket, you have the fire emoji that they'll give you when your bracket looks good. Yeah, ours has the ice emoji next to it because they are just bad.
Here's the 2-1, and a called strike on the outer half, strike 2.
I love the storyline though. SEC versus Midwest, help me out. SEC versus
SEC versus a mid-major. The 2-2. Pitch missing outside. Betancourt wanted it, but just off the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Coastal's a force to be reckoned with. 56-11 this season.
The most wins of any team in the regular season in the College World Series. Pitch misses inside. It gets away. Doesn't matter. It's ball 4 to Max Handren.
Handren's having himself a pretty good day. A couple of walks, an RBI base hit.
So here's McCann Libby. A single, a sacrifice fly, and a ground out to the third baseman, Comerford, today. Drove in the first run of the ball game in the 3rd, and drove in the 3rd in the 4th inning. RBI single, cashing in Ben Sebastiani. Handren at first and Schepler at second. The first pitch misses low to Libby for ball 1, and quickly Caruso heads out there to talk to his pitcher, Betancourt.
He knows how big of a spot this is. You know, he can see that the hitters are struggling at the plate, knows that if the Blues were to give up another run, it's just going to pile on to the downward spiral that the Blues are having. And just telling his pitcher right now, just put the ball out over the plate. The defense is there for you. 3 really good arms in the outfield. If you do give up a base hit, you have a good chance to throw a runner out at home.
The meeting between the battery is over, and Charlie Caruso at 19 years old always impresses me with his maturity level.
Good egg.
Yep. We're back with runners on first and second, and the 1-0 is a called strike, 1-1 to McCann Libby.
I don't know how we haven't talked about this yet, but Nate and I had batting practice today, and the entire time we were shagging out there, we were just talking to Caruso in left field.
Great kid. The 1-1. Swing and a chopper into the backstop for strike 2. We connect on a lot of areas. We both love coffee. We both love movies.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's actually a director.
Yeah.
The 1-2. Grounder to the left side. O'Hara, the shortstop, gets it and throws it to second base for the force out, and the side's retired. Blues prevent any damage in the top of the 6th inning. We head in the bottom half of the frame. Blues are still scoreless. They trail by 3 against the Stompers, as this frame is brought to you by SLO County Golf. Bottom of the 6th inning is brought to you by SLO County Golf, offering 3 courses in SLO, Morro Bay, and Atascadero. They also offer a unique combination of beautiful scenery and affordable prices. Book your next tee time at slocountygolf.com. 1-0 count to Eli Henderson. And time is called at the plate, and we're ready to go. Eli today playing second base and is 1 of 1 of the 3 singles from the Blues offense today. Henderson takes a pitch outside, 2-0. Henderson reached on the leadoff single in the 3rd and was caught stealing. Got a pretty decent jump going to second base, but just kind of ran into some quicksand, it looked like. And a changeup on the outside for strike 1.
Henderson hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but has been a good bat.
Eli takes it low, 3 balls and 1 strike.
The Blues have had 3 leadoff base runners in this game, but have nothing to show for it.
The 3-1. Henderson swings and sends it right back up the middle for a base hit. Return to sender from Eli Henderson. He's a perfect 2 for 2 today.
That's what he's done both times. The first time it hit off Laginto. This time it goes right past Laginto's left hip. And it's another leadoff base runner. See if the Blues can actually manufacture something with it this time. Every single time the Blues have gotten a runner on. During the next plate appearance, the runner has been thrown out in some fashion.
So here's Sebastian Lopez as they pick over to first, and Henderson's back in time. 4 hits for the Blues bats today have come from 2 people, Don Jordan and Eli Henderson. Pick over to first, and the ball hits the first base umpire. He wore that well. He's still standing up, and that's actually big for the Blues, because if that ball gets away, that's a free 90 feet for Eli Henderson.
The Blues have yet to have a runner in scoring position in today's game, and we're in the bottom of the 6th inning, so that could have been their opportunity right there to get it going.
Another pick over to first, and Henderson's in there standing. Lopez, a strikeout swinging in his first Blues at bat in 2025. The first pitch, and Lopez takes high, ball 1. Sebastian making his return to the Central Coast this summer after a season as a Red Hawk at Seattle, a .213 batting average. Lopez swings, hits it off the hands, and the shortstop dives and makes the play. They'll go to second for 1, and Lopez beats out the second leg of the double play. Very nice play by the shortstop, Colton Boardman, to fully extend to keep that baseball in play. They'll get the force out at second, but Lopez is at first.
That was really tough for Henderson, too. I think in a normal situation, he might be able to beat that out, but he had to stutter a little bit because that ball was hanging up there and had a chance to be caught, and then he was still barely thrown out at second base.
So here's Charlie Caruso, who grounded to the shortstop, Boardman, the last time he was up. And Ryan and I started a discussion about how he has film lineage. Pitch misses high, ball 1. His father is DJ Caruso, a director who has directed movies, most recently Redeeming Love, Triple X, Return of the Xander Cage in 2017, Eagle Eye in 2008. Caruso off the hands to Boardman again. The shortstop on the run makes the throw, and Lazul can't pick it at first base. Going from first all the way to third is Lopez, and Caruso is in at second base. An error by the shortstop Boardman puts 2 runners in scoring position for the Blues.
And the Blues will take it. E6 gets 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out for the top of the order. First time the Blues have had runners in scoring position today, where they've struggled, honestly, this whole season.
And it's none other than the walk-off hero from last night's game against Sonoma in E.J. Royal. He deposited a base hit in the left center gap to win the ball game 7-6 over Sonoma. Blues looking for some similar magic here in the 6th. Royal takes the first pitch slider low for ball 1. So it's Charlie Caruso at second and Sebastian Lopez at third. E.J. Royal represents the tying run, and yes, he does have home run power. The 1-0. Royal takes it high, 2-0.
He showed it over the weekend on the road. He had a home run last year, too, on the road in Walnut Creek.
2-0. Royal takes the changeup for a called strike, 2-1. We talked with hitting coach Rene Regalado about that home run in San Francisco this past road trip for E.J. Royal. A complete accident, as most home runs tend to be. 2-1. Royal moves his hands above a pitch inside, 3-1.
Not a diss on EJ, but I would say most of his home runs probably are, just because he's not a guy who likes to lift the ball. He's a guy who likes to find gaps and wreak havoc on the base pass. When he hits a home run, I don't think it's usually intentional.
From the stretch, here's the 3-1, and Royal takes it for strike 2. And what's the common answer you always hear in a post-game interview? What were you trying to do in that at-bat? I was trying to hit a double. And they just kind of turn into home runs. That's the approach that hitting coach Rene Regalado is trying to instill on this roster. Here's the payoff to EJ. Pitch sent right back up the middle, and it rolls into center field. An RBI single for Royal. Looks like it'll bring in 2. Good jump from Caruso at second base, And with one swing of the bat, the Blues bring it within one against the Stompers.
That's exactly what EJ is known to do. He gets himself in a 2-strike count. He throws the barrel out there. He keeps the barrel in the zone for so long. Makes decent contact with it right back up the middle where there's nobody to stop it. Caruso, with plus speed for a catcher, had that one all the way.
5-game hit streak for the leadoff man, E.J. Royal. And it brings up Cade O'Hara, a tying run at first base in Royal. Royal was second on the team last year in stolen bases with 19. He stands on first, and Cade's first pitch swinging. A high pop-up into shallow center field. The second baseman, Libby, comes out, makes a two-handed grab for the first out of the inning. And check, that's out number 2 in the frame. And it's Mason Ashlock digging in there. So O'Hara is hitless today. And it's now Ashlock who is also hitless. 0 for 2, a strikeout swinging and a grounder to the shortstop Boardman. Ashlock batting third and playing right field today. Made a great grab over and right on a slicing ball towards the chalk. First pitch, and Ashlock sends it back and into the grass awning for strike 1.
Congratulations to
Devin Laginto still out there for Sonoma. In his 6th inning of work. Ashlock takes high, 1-1. Has not walked a single batter today. Laginto hasn't.
He's looked really good for the Stompers. First inning where he's given up 2 hits.
Pick over to first, and Royals back in time.
There's definitely a situation where Royal might think about going, get yourself in scoring position for Ashlock, but Ashlock's also such a dangerous hitter, you don't want to take the bat out of his hand.
1-1. Snap back throw to first. Royals back with a feet first slide safely.
Obviously very concerned about him. 2 pickoffs and a throwback.
It's the tying run over there in E.J. Royal with some good speed. This is the first frame, too, where Laginto hasn't faced the minimum. 1-2. Mason hits a fly ball into left field. Softly hit. Sebastiani charges it and makes the running grab to retire the side. But not before a 2 RBI single from E.J. Royal makes it a 1-run ball game. 3-2 heading into the 7th inning. Ryan Giacomini's got you the rest of the way on the Slow Blue Streaming Network.
The Blues strike back and get 2 in the bottom of the 6th as they cut the lead to just 1 for the Sonoma Stompers. Matt Betancourt back out there for his 3rd inning of work against Brady Shannon, who was 0 for 2 on the day, a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout. The first pitch to him and hits him right in the middle of the back, right on the 37, and that'll be a leadoff base runner. Back-to-back innings with leadoff base runners for the Stompers.
Yeah, that one hurts. That's not in a meaty part of the back either. The lower lumbar of the back, there isn't a lot of meat there, not a lot of muscle, so you're kind of getting right into the spine, and you could see Shannon wince right as he got hit by the pitch. But I'm sure as a quarterback at Youngstown State and UCF, he's taken quite a few hits from people in the lower back.
Wondering where his back pad is on that one.
Yeah.
Soft in the blow. The 0-0. This is high, especially as a quarterback. Back pad's not a big thing you might see on any other position, honestly, but because quarterbacks get sacked and they're usually being tackled onto their back, quarterbacks wear back pads to protect their spine. Here's the 1-0. Swung on a miss. A dirty slider from Betancourt. Looked solid so far in his 2 innings of work, giving up just 1 hit and a walk. No strikeouts. Has been good after we saw the Cal Poly Stang. Eric Kvidal. His runner goes. Throw down from Caruso. 1 hops. Not in time. Henderson with a good stop at second base. Tried to slap the tag behind his back, but already in there safely was Shannon.
Yeah, it was a good pop time from Charlie Caruso, too. I think he just yanked it a little bit, held it on for a little bit too long. It took an unfortunate bounce as well, a high hopper over the head of Henderson instead of a low liner right into his glove.
Caruso has a really good arm. That one, I agree, kind of got stuck in his throwing hand as that one misses outside. Stopped by Caruso, 3-1. I think out of the 3 catchers on the team for the Blues, I would say he has the best arm from what we've seen so far. Northwestern, excuse me. Runner goes again, swing and a miss. Here's the throw from Caruso. It's on the money! Caught stealing by Charlie Caruso, and Raymont will trot it back to the dugout.
Well, right on cue, Ryan. The golden arm of Charlie Caruso behind the dish, gunning down the runner. And the manager, Zach Pace, has a word with the third base umpire on that call. The throw beat him by a couple of steps. I think they're just talking about the tag from Comerford.
Yeah, Shannon seemed pretty convinced that he got under that tag and immediately pointed to Zach Pace, let him know, like, hey, man, come talk to the base umpire. But it's one of those calls, no replay review here in the CCL. It's a really hard call to overturn. Nobody's going to be able to see that better than the umpire standing 5 feet away from it. So even if you do have an umpires meeting about it, it's probably not going to change the result. Regardless, nobody on. 3-2, swinging and missing. Strike 3 swinging to Poloski. All of a sudden, Matt Betancourt is rolling.
And this inning for the Stompers has been much like the Blues' other offensive innings this past 5 frames. Like I said in the last half inning, the Blues have gone the minimum through the first 5 innings, and it took them all the way until the 6th to finally score a couple runs from E.J. Royal. So now the Stompers getting a taste of their own medicine.
Here's Paul Lazul swinging, missing. Pulled the string there was Betancourt. 0-1. To the first baseman. He's 1 for 3 on the day, a pair of groundouts, and then a single in the second inning. Stranded on second after a single as he swings and hits that one pretty well out into the gap. Royal will range to his left and make a hop as he squeezes it with one hand for the 3rd out of the inning. They go down in order: a hit by pitch, a caught stealing, a strikeout, and a flyout. The Blues offense 2 in the 6th. Let's see what they can do in the bottom of the 7th here on the Slow Blues streaming network. They trail it by 1. We got 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, a scoreless 7th inning. This is John Jordan, who has singled both times today, one of 2 Blues to do that, actually. Take strike 1.
Yeah, 5 hits, and 2 of them, or 4 of them, have come from 2 different people, Don Jordan and Eli Henderson. E.J. Royal breaking up that trend in the 6th with his 2 RBI single, and that's all the Blues got today.
1-1 to Jordan. Dodges out of the way of that fastball inside.
There's a left-hander getting loose in the Blues bullpen. Omar Reynoso getting hot.
Don Jordan sends that one back up the middle. He's got a 3-for-3 day. His 3rd base hit of the evening comes in the 7th inning, and it's his 3rd leadoff base hit of the game.
Purists are salivating right now because Don Jordan has the power to have a higher slugging than he does right now, which is already pretty high at 475, but a 3 single day for Don, a couple of ground balls going into the outfield, has traditionalists salivating.
Wants another Dog of the Day award as Raymond squares the bunt and pulls it back, takes ball 1.
Might have to rename it to Dawn of the Day.
I mean, yeah, he's already won it once this year by himself. He has a Group 1 from last weekend.
Player of the Week a couple weeks ago.
And Player of the Week, racking up the Blues awards. Here's the bunt. It's laid down, but right behind the catcher, Poloski, and it'll be strike 1.
Raymond looked like he had that bunt squared away, but at the last second, he stabbed at it. That's one thing you're taught when you're trying to lay down a bunt. You start at the top of the zone, and you just leave your bat there. Instead of leaving his bat at the top of the zone, he threw his hands at it. You're not supposed to do that when you're bunting, and that's why you see it fouled straight back.
Laginto still out there in his 7th inning of work. Here's pitch number 80 for him. Swung on and chopped through the 5-5 hole, a base hit for Raymond. His first hit of the day, his first non-extra base hit as a Blue.
Look at that, back-to-back hits for the Blues. We haven't seen that all day today, and they keep the line moving in the 7th inning. Jordan advances into second. The fastest runner on the team is the tying runner, and he's in scoring position. Zach Pace quickly heads out there to retrieve his right-hander.
Yeah, pitch 80, and that's going to do it for Laginto. A really quality start for him, giving up 2 runs in just 6 innings of work. Excuse me. His day will be done, and we will introduce you to the new pitcher right after this on the Slow Blues streaming network. New pitcher is Haroon Pelja, a Youngstown State University righty, is standing at 6'5", 235, from Melbourne, Australia, all the way from the land down under. Makes his way to the Central Coast for some summer baseball. This last year with Youngstown, he threw 29 in the third innings, gave up 27 earned runs, 28 hits, 27 walks to his 23 strikeouts. It's good for an 8.28 ERA.
An 8 innings pitched so far this summer with the Stompers. Faced 32 batters, 9 strikeouts and 2 walks, allowing 4 hits and 2 earned runs.
Looking to improve his game heading into next season, I should say. He only had 3 outings this year where he did not give up an earned run. That's out of 17. And they have Don Jordan picked off. He's in a rundown. Might have avoided that tag. The throw to second. It's a double play. 2 runners thrown out on the bases, and now nobody on for Brendan Comerford. Had Don Jordan picked off. Honestly, a smart base running move by Raymond to try to take second, but his slide came up about maybe 6 inches short, and the tag was applied in time. Out comes Dean Traynor to talk about it. And I mean, I don't really know what he's going to talk about. I could tell from here he did not make it to the bag.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, Dean, but I think this is a successful double play. I'm not going to lie. I can't say I've ever seen this style of double play before. 2 picked off runners at the same time. Can't say I've ever seen that. But Don Jordan was caught in the middle. They tagged him out as he was trying to book it to third. They applied the tag, threw it over to second, and Raymond was thrown out at second base.
For those of you keeping a scorebook, we'll go as a pickoff and then it was a shortstop who tagged Jordan out, and then a throw to the second baseman to get Raymond. So 6-4 double play on the pickoff, however you want to score that.
Classic. Very conventional play that you see in baseball all the time.
Yes. Love my 6-4 pickoff double play. Now, Comerford, different situation than he was anticipating. Yes. He looks at a slider, first pitch strike. And it was interesting because Rene Regalado had Don Jordan, Raymond, Comerford, and Eli Henderson, who stands on deck, all huddled up with first base coach Tex and himself, and they were talking strategy. And I think all that strategy is out the window now as Comerford scissor kicks and swings and misses at that slider. That's also a huge momentum killer. The Blues scored 2 runs in the 6th, back-to-back base hits to lead off the 7th, and then 2 runners are thrown out on the bases. That's the 4th time they've had a runner thrown out on bases today.
Yeah, I'll say that was the tying run at second base and the go-ahead run at first, and now both are gone.
Comerford now swinging for the fences to try to tie it up as that pitch. Look out. Matrix is out of the way of that fastball.
And based on the conversation that Traynor had with his roster today, I would not be surprised if we see some gassers before tomorrow's game.
Yeah, or maybe even today.
Yeah.
Comerford watches a bender, and it catches the inside. Called strike 3 to Brendan Comerford, his 2nd strikeout looking today. A pickoff, double play, and a strikeout after 2 leadoff base hits, and the inning is over. The Blues will take back the field. We'll see if it's Betancourt or a new pitcher here on the Slow Blues streaming network. Southpaw out there for the Blues. Matt Bencourt is done, and Omar Reynoso will take over for the Blues. One of my favorite arms that the Blues have. Here last summer with SLO. Was a solid arm last year, but left early. Back again this summer. He was absent for a little bit, but he's back now. Pitch one is a ball outside.
It's a good pick, Ryan, for your favorite pitcher. A sub-2 run average, a 1.21 whip. That's 1.2 walks and hits per innings pitched. That's good.
Swinging and missing over the top of that fastball is Kieran Baker. It's Baker, Shepler, and Sebastiani, 7, 8, 9 that Reynoso will face. And you got to think, maybe he just called back for this trip, considering the Blues have 13 games in 14 days. So that started yesterday. It's the 1-1, fouled back to the netting.
Baker, a hitless day so far. He was hit by a pitch in the second, but was stranded at first. And you couple that with a pop out to Royal in center and a strikeout swinging in the fourth. And Baker's been having some trouble seeing the baseball this summer, too. Trying to dig in at a 1-2 count against Reynoso, who's got some trickery.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball up and in. Hey, not a high velo guy. His fastball sits in the low to mid 80s. However, he does have some gnarly stuff that's just really hard to pick up on.
Good hesitation on his stuff, too. You see the double pump on the light kick, too?
Yeah. Single pump there, and it misses low. Full count.
Reynoso's got the sweeper. He's got the changeup and the fastball. See which one will play a star role today.
From the belt, here's the pitch. Swung on and hand back to the netting.
Reynoso making his 6th appearance for the Blues this summer, and in 9 1/3 innings pitched, has allowed 8 hits, only 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks.
There's the payoff. Low, but called ball 4 to Baker. Second time he's reached base today. First time he was hit by a pitch.
50-50 call there from the home plate umpire, and it doesn't go Reynoso's way. A leadoff walk to Kieran Baker, and a second time he's reached first on a free pass. Hit by a pitch in the second. Now a base on balls here in the 8th.
Blues looking to find any sort of momentum and confidence they can after what was some horrific base running in the bottom half of the 7th inning. A square into bunt is the DH Shepler. Reynoso comes home. It's a called strike as he pulls it back. Crashing hard was Comerford over at third. We haven't seen him a lot there, but that's his home. He loves third base. He's played first base, but not really his key position, his primary position. Prefers that third base spot, excuse me. Squaring to bunt again is Shepler. The 0-1, he pulls it back again, and it's another called strike. Shepler squares twice, pulls back twice, and watches 2 fastballs that clip the outer part of the zone twice. And now he'll have to swing the stick.
I kind of want to see the sweeper here from Reynoso, see if Shepler goes fishing.
Tough to transition from bunting to swinging, but we'll see what he does in the 0-2 count. It's a fastball. It clips the outer part, strike 3 looking. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to you, Shepler, as he'll walk it back to the dugout.
A perfect placement on that fastball on the inner half to the left-handing hitting Shepler. Freezes him up. Pinpoint accuracy from Reynoso, and a very nice first out in the 8th inning.
Hey, maybe you could speak to this, but I feel like it's a really difficult thing to go from attempting to lay a bunt down and then trying to swing when you get into a 2-strike count.
It's deceptive for sure. Your eyes are moving a lot. You're in different placements.
Runner goes. Caruso's throw on the money. The tag. It's right there. Henderson puts it down, and Caruso throws out another runner. The second time he's done that in that many innings.
Well, Ryan, you talked about the laser beam that Caruso has attached to his body, and he's showcasing it today. A couple of caught stealings in 2 innings. A young kid showing off the gun.
Pitch was a ball as Caruso I think that's actually a cannon coming out of his left arm or his right arm. I don't see anything there except that, as the pitch from Reynoso is a called strike. That's a good momentum boost for the Blues. And some heroics in late innings yesterday, as swinging and missing over the top is Sebastiani. Late inning heroics yesterday, and going to have to do the same again today. They have 6 outs to do so. They need 1 to tie, 2 to win. Reynoso on the mound trying to keep the lead where it is. Here's the pitch to Sebastiani. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Reynoso's pumped up, and the Blues are as well. The bats are back up. It's going to be Henderson, Lopez, and Caruso. As I remind you that this half inning is brought to you by Studio Design Group Architects.
Attendance at today's ball game.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Henderson, who applied the tag on the caught stealing, will lead it off. As I remind you that this half inning is brought to you by the talented team at Studio Design Group Architects. Whether you're designing, planning, or needing permits for a space, Studio Design Group and their collaborative philosophy have you covered. Visit sdgarchitects.com to learn more. Studio Design Group Architects. First pitch to Henderson is a ball low. Back out there is Pelja. Pelja. Henderson waggles that black bomb bat and watches a strike on the outer half. Henderson 2 for 2 in today's game. He's one of 2 Blues hitters to have reached base safely every single time via a single. Him and Don Jordan have both done it. Don Jordan has been thrown out on the base pass all 3 times he's reached base. Same with Henderson. That one misses up and away, 2-1. He was picked off, then ground ball double play, so not Don Jordan's fault, and then the double pickoff that we saw in the last inning. Henderson, a caught stealing, and a fielder's choice. Here's the 2-1, swung on and chopped to first. This one is just foul.
That doesn't win you many games.
No. And the Blues, we were talking about this with the broadcasters to our left for the Stompers. Blues are not a team that makes base running mistakes.
No.
The way they looked at us, they're like, is this normal? And we're like, no. I mean, I could probably count on one hand coming into this game how many base running mistakes they have truly made that have just been purely on the hitters or the players' fault. Henderson looking to get something going here for the Blues, who still trail by 1. 9 outs to go at the plate as he flares that one foul and out of play right behind the orange row.
Gentleman tried to catch it with his hat. Kind of close. All right, thanks to the Wallace Group for sponsoring our free foul balls tonight.
You really want to put him down in order to not let it get back to the top of the order and deal with that issue when it comes up.
Primarily from the stretch. Here's the 2-2. It plunks Henderson on the button. That did not feel good.
See, I think he wishes that was on the butt. I think that caught him in the behind his knee, and that's a very vulnerable part of the leg. I've been hit there before. It hurts.
We're going to have a pinch hitter for Sebastian Lopez. It's Caden Cuccia, Kenyatta College rising junior.
Pinch hitter in for Lopez.
Excuse me, sophomore. Looking for an opportunity here. Third baseman on the grass expecting a bunt. I would expect the same exact thing. Cuchilla is probably the best bunter on the team.
Him and Constantine have been putting down some pretty good bunts this summer.
Throw over to first. No tag, no slide. What I love from Constantine, he's a relatively quiet guy during batting practice. You know, he doesn't talk to a lot of guys. He's kind of just minding his own business. He's a very social guy outside of batting practice, but whenever he rips a ball, he gets happy. Here's Cuchilla. This one's popped up in the air and right back onto the mound. The pitcher, Peja, will catch it, and that will be the first out of the inning on a failed sacrifice bunt attempt.
There are a few things that make a coach more mad than that play right there, especially an older and wiser coach like Dean Traynor. When you can't execute those small ball things, especially a pop-up bunt, something you should be able to work on all the time and have it down at this point in your college career, it's frustrating.
Especially when you're brought off the bench to solely do that, as the first pitch to Caruso misses inside. I mean, Cuchilla's not a first baseman, so he's going to be replaced defensively over there, probably by taller men. Maybe he'll play third and Comerford will move to first. So essentially, you're out there to literally put a bunt down. And you can't get it done there. My statement still stands. He is still one of the best bunters on the team, just a lapse there. Here's the 1-0, fouled back by Caruso.
In Palomar College, my junior college years, we worked on bunts till we were blue in the face. I mean, I'm not kidding. An hour of hack attack bunt practice until we all got it right. If we didn't, that's a triangle on the field. Triangle is sprinting, by the way, sprint exercise.
Pick over to first, and Henderson dives back safely. He was hit by a pitch to lead off this inning. Pelja came in the last inning, the seventh, with 2 on and nobody out. And one pickoff move later, and there were 2 on, nobody out. Then a strikeout looking to Brendan Comerford to end that inning. The aces are free here to the catcher, Caruso, as he fouls that one back off his hands.
And a couple of jam shots from Charlie Caruso. I think if he times it up just a little bit more, he can straighten those out and hit it into fair territory.
Caruso is looking for his first hit as a Blue in his first game. He went 0 for 4, had a walk and a hit by pitch in that game. Henderson, medium-sized leadoff first, being held on by the first baseman, another move over. Fans are starting to boo Pelja, now thrown over 3 times.
We talked about how Charlie Caruso is a descendant of movie director DJ Caruso. And Charlie let me know his favorite movie, and I feel like this would be a good topic since I'm trying to convince you, Ryan, to like rom-coms.
That one misses outside, 2-2.
His favorite movie is not a rom-com, but I feel like just on the topic of movies, his favorite is actually, and you better have seen this or I'm taking off the headset, The Shawshank Redemption.
I haven't.
Oh my God.
Nate, I'm not a big movie guy.
That is,
man.
no, but that's like objectively like maybe the greatest movie ever.
I'm going to blow your mind after this pitch. This is a 2-2. Misses up and away. I've never seen, here's the throwback to first. It's not in time. I've never seen Good Will Hunting either.
That hurts my soul.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie.
I know.
Have you seen any of my top 5? Have you seen Whiplash?
Nope.
Ryan. Oh no, dude.
Nate, I watched Stupid Crazy Love for you.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Sorry,
to watch that
Crazy
one too.
Yes. I thought it was a good movie. Rom-coms just aren't my style, but I did watch it for you, and I thought it was good. Runner goes, swing and miss. Is it going to be a throw him out, strike him out, throw him out? No, it's not, as it goes into center field. Henderson has himself a stolen bag as Caruso strikes out.
So you don't like rom-coms. Do you also not like really good movies too?
Like I said, man, like, just not a big movie guy. I don't know. I haven't gotten excited for a movie in a while. The new Mission Impossible I want to see. But I don't know.
Okay, I feel like Quentin Tarantino films would be your speed.
Yeah.
Do you like Django Unchained?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's a good
my
movie.
favorite Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I'm really big into cop TV shows. That's my ultra backup plan in life is become a cop. As Mike Nunez is going to come out, which gives us plenty of time to talk about movies. So like really big into like cop TV shows, and same with movies. So
You'd
like
be a cop?
like backup plan.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like if you nothing else pans out in life, just join the academy.
Well, fans, keep watching these streams because I don't want Ryan to pull me over on the highway.
But so like, I don't know, you might not even, like Taken, like big Liam Neeson guy, I like his movies. The Taking of Feeling 1, 2, 3, it's about a train.
I know Taken.
Yeah, it's very similar to Taken, where like a group of bad people take over a train. And there's like an undercover cop on the train. Good movie. Like that's just more my style. And honestly, it's just like the low level like cop movies and shows is what I'm into.
You're a film bro is what you are.
Yeah, I'm not into it like you are. As E.J. Royal will step in on it with his 5-game hit streak. He kept that alive in the 6th inning with a 2 RBI single. He stares at a slider for strike 1.
I guess it is a little unfair. I was a film minor in my undergrad, but even still, I mean, you got to watch. Those are classics.
Slider, that one just a little too far out. I know. Like, I'm well aware that there's a lot of really good movies that I haven't watched and that I need to watch. I just have to do it. That's the issue.
I'm trying to think of cop movies that you like.
Honestly, I've probably seen most of them. Like cop and like war movies.
Check second, comes home, Royal takes a called strike.
Called strike on the outer part. 2 E.J. Royal, 3 sliders to E.J. Royal to start off this at-bat after Caruso struck out swinging and Henderson stole base. That was simultaneous. E.J. looking to bring across his 3rd RBI of the day. With Henderson on second. Pretty sizable lead held on by Libby. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit well into center field, but ranging to his right end, making the grab with a leap is Baker for the 3rd out of the inning. We head into the 9th. The Blues trail it by 1. It'll be Reynoso back out there to try to keep it at that here on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back here in the top of the 9th inning as 4 first pitch is thrown by Reynoso. Tomorrow, Nate, it's Western night. We're going to throw down for a hoedown here in the press box on June 19th. That is, again, tomorrow. Show up at the ballpark for the Blues game against the Saints in Western theme attire. Get 50% off that ticket. Giddy up for Western night tomorrow as Reynoso pumps in strike 1, 2. The leadoff hitter, Colton Boardman. Lefty shortstop. 1 for 4 today. A strikeout, a single, a run. Reynoso, look out. Slider up at the head of Boardman.
And a costly error in the third inning on that single. He was just going to have first base, but an errant throw onto the first base bag, and another errant throw from right field in Ashlock brought Boardman all the way to third. He could score easily on a Libby sac fly.
This one is hit pretty well out to left, but not moving at all, and then a little bit to his right as Raymond for the first out of the inning.
The nice guys, Ryan?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No?
No.
I'm just trying to think.
Nate, I'm just going to disappoint you.
But I want to help you because there's something that I know is so good out there for you that I want you to take part in.
Well, the thing is like I said, I know there are good movies out there that I have not seen.
Right. I want to help you get to the promised land.
I just because that one is chopped to first. There's Tollerman, who's the defensive replacement, grabbing it and touching first for the second out of the inning. Tollerman takes over for Sebastian Lopez, who was pinch hit for by Cuccia.
Good reaction time from Zach Tellerman, too. Took a couple awkward steps to his left. It was kind of an in-between ball if he should reach out fully or not. Good reaction time and took first base himself.
I'll reiterate, I know there's good movies out there I haven't seen and that I need to see. And there's a lot of good movies that I'll see on people's lists of their top 10 on social media or whatever that I'm that movie looks really good. I don't know. I just don't make time to watch movies.
I will say, I racked up most of my movie points, if you will, my freshman year of college when I was really in COVID and I was a film minor and I had all this time. So, but even throughout life, I watched Good Will Hunting when I was in 5th grade.
2-0 from Reynoso is a called strike. Yeah, I just know. I know that there's movies I need to watch. And, I'll get to them, someday.
Are you a crier?
No, not with movies. With TV shows, potentially, if I get really into the TV show and then, something super sad happens. But movies, I just don't feel like I get invested enough. There's the 2-1 is a called strike. Reynoso a strike away from getting the Blues bats back up there as they still trail it by just 1 run here. E.J. Royal drove in 2 in the 6th on a 2 RBI single.
A close game here in the top of the 9th inning, but the Blues offense has just been very uninspiring today, aside from an E.J. Royal 2 RBI single.
Here's the 2-2, swung on and chopped to third. Comerford will field it. His throw over to the new first baseman. It's high, but it's on the money for the 6'5 Tollerman. To the bottom of the 9th we go. The Blues trail it by a run. It'll be O'Hara, Ashlock, and Don Jordan due up for the San Luis Obispo Blues as they look to rally and walk it off for the second straight night here on the SLO Blues Streaming Network. Kate O'Hara leading it off for the Blues against the new pitcher. It's Cole Pacheco, the Sycamore from Indiana State, as he will come out here and have to face 2-3-4 with the game on the line. A save opportunity for Pacheco.
Last call for San Luis Obispo, trying to see if they can get some late game magic here again against the Stompers.
Kate O'Hara swings and misses at the first pitch from Pacheco. 6'4", 237. Previously played at Modesto Junior College out of San Jose, California. As O'Hara swings and misses through that fastball. 0-2.
And quickly strike two to Kate O'Hara. The Blues have not gotten deep into many accounts today, and when they have, they've resulted in strikeouts. No walks today for San Luis Obispo. That would be the first time this summer that happens.
Here's the 0-2, up and in. I think that also just is a testament to how well Laginto threw in today's game. He went 6 innings and didn't walk a single batter, only gave up 5 total hits. Pelja picked right up where he left off as Kate O'Hara is rung up. Strike 3 looking on a pitch that O'Hara did not think was a strike whatsoever.
91 miles an hour on the outer black from Cole Pacheco, and he dotted that one up, froze up Cade, and a pretty big first down for the relief pitcher Pacheco.
Now it's Mason Ashlock. He's been quiet today, 0 for 3, but has the power to tie this game up with one swing of the bat. A wide stance, pretty neutral from that right side. Weatherford outfielder looking for a new place to call home this summer. Already talking to a bunch of Division I programs. That one is a called strike right in there, and the Aces are free. And Ashlock deserves to be looked at by a bunch of Division I programs. He has almost an 1,100 OPS early in the summer for the Blues. That doesn't include today's game. There's the 1-1 up and away. That includes a .436 average with 4 stolen bases, 10 runs batted in, 17 hits, 2 of them extra base hits, 10 strikeouts to his 9 walks. That's a good ratio. Here's the 2-1, swung on and fouled back.
I'll make a correction on the pitcher as well. I thought it read 99 on the front. It actually read 50. This is actually Braden Gentz, the right-hander from Pepperdine, from Clovis, California, who finished his second season with the Waves with an 8.24 earned run average.
Excuse me, it is not Cole Pacheco. It's the Wave, as he gets another strikeout. Ashlock swings over that one, a changeup, a backwards K, and a forward one. 1 out away from splitting this 2-game series here at Sinsheimer.
And 6 strikeouts heading into this 9th inning. Ryan and I talked about keeping that number below 7 or 6. They have 2 in the 9th already. And down to the last out for Don Jordan, who's perfect today, a trio of base hits.
To go along with those 3 singles, he's been caught on the pads, not once, not twice, but thrice.
Don Jordan swings at the first pitch fastball and fouls it back over the Beer 2 and Taco Truck Station. Don Jordan waggling his bomb bat. Watches a slider right there at the knees for strike 2. 1 strike away from winning this game in 3-2 fashion.
That was a good pitch right there from Gentz. Buckling up Don Jordan, started in the inner half, wasn't a strike, and broke into the middle.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and grounded to short, It's a very soft, close play. Don Jordan beats it out. His 4th hit of the day, and it is the tying run for the San Luis Obispo Blues.
And that is the exact guy I would want as the tying run, as the fastest runner on this team. Obviously, he's been picked off twice today. One of those pickoffs, a part of a double play pickoff caught stealing, and then was also forced out at second base on a ground ball double play from Andrew Raymond. But this gives the Blues a shot to at least tie it up, and Andrew Raymond, who had been squaring up the baseball well, had a single the last time he was up, with another opportunity here.
Aggressive on the pads, not so many success.
First pitch to Raymond is fouled right in front of the blue screen. I see a couple people mentioning that I haven't seen Shawshank Redemption in the chat. I like truly want to apologize. I'll put it on my list. I'll have it watched by, I'll say the end of our next homestand. I'll have it watched.
Okay.
So give me a week or so to find some time in my schedule, and I'll watch it.
So good.
Yes. 1 out away.
1 out away, but Raymond at the plate.
Comes home.
He swings and fouls that one.
Foul down the left
The other way,
and that ball
92 mile an hour fastball
sorts of trouble.
from gets the wave.
Don't be fooled by the
He's
three
thrown
different
over
pitch
45
offs.
collegiate innings,
Probably in this ball game.
31 strikeouts to his
In motion.
39 walks.
Away yet again. The 0-2.
Here's the 0-2, swung on and chopped to first, and that is going to do it for the game. Lazul backhands it and touches first, and the Blues will lose it 3-2. They split the home series with the Stompers and drop in the CCL to 5 and 6. And overall today, just the bats were not going at all for the Blues. They had something going in the 6th where they scored 2. They had something going in the 7th, and then some base running woes ended that run. And then after that, it was just downhill from there.
Yeah, the Blues, number one, just couldn't get it going on offense. And then number two, it goes without saying, those base running mistakes are the story of this game for this roster. And what's really weird about it, too, is that this wasn't a problem throughout the rest of the season. As a matter of fact, it was a positive point for this team. Wreaking havoc on the base paths, having successful double steal attempts, taking extra 90 feet when they aren't necessarily given to you. And then today, not only did we see a rare double play pickoff caught stealing, we saw Don Jordan, the fastest runner on the team, get picked off twice, Eli Henderson get caught stealing, and Andrew Raymond get caught stealing. On top of that, the Blues did strike out a total of 8 times, and they didn't walk a single time tonight. 8 strikeouts, 2 caught stealings, and 2 pickoffs. It's really hard to get anything going with that model.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you mentioned just not something the Blues normally have. They had more hits today than the Stompers, but they only left 3 runners on base, which normally you'd be like, whoa, 8 hits, 3 left on base, that's really good. But in this case, it's not, because all the runners that they got on base were thrown out on the base pass, or maybe got out via double play or a fielder's choice, something along those lines. There's things that have not been an issue for the Blues, and I think everywhere else, like, the Blues played pretty well. You know, not a ton of hits, but 8 is a decent number. In a low-run game like today, 8 will usually get you a win. But the defense was good today, only 1 error. You know, the pitching was solid today. And it's just the base run, which is, like we mentioned, not been an issue. Hopefully it does not start to be an issue for the Blues into the summer.
Well, the Blues have only had 2 games of their 18 without an error. That trend continues. They have one today, a throwing error from shortstop, allowing that run to eventually come around to score on a sacrifice fly. That run would just be at first base, and it would just be an F9 down in the scorebooks, a fly ball to the right fielder. But instead it cost the Blues a run. And though it was just one lone error in this ball game, it was a contributor, because that one run is the separator in today's game. A 3-2 victory for Sonoma. And I got to give my hats off again to the bullpen for this team, because they have been excellent this season. 5 innings of hitless baseball after Eric Kvidal went 4 innings and 3 earned runs. He did have 5 strikeouts, but he paired it with his 5 walks. So Kvidal's point of emphasis the next time he rolls out there is finding the strike zone a little bit more consistently. Yes, you got the 5 Ks, but also when you pair that with the 5 walks and the 4 hits, it's a little bit hard to be effective. It was a hit parade in the beginning of the game, in the 3rd and the 4th inning to be exact. McCann Libby brought in both 2 of the 3 Stompers runs today with that aforementioned sacrifice fly. In the RBI single in the 4th, Max Handren drove in another run with an RBI single in that same inning. And then that was it. The bullpen did its job. They held down the Stompers. The Blues are more than capable with this roster they have to put up more than 3 runs on a given night. And again, they're just going quietly, and you would think after a 30-minute pep talk from Dean Traynor before the game that the attitude would change a bit, but it's the same old, same old.
Yeah, and there were just so many times where I thought the Blues were going to be able to gain some momentum and tack on runs, and they did it in the 6th. A base hit, a fielder's choice, an error gave them a ton of momentum, then a 2 RBI base hit from Royal, and then I thought that was continuing into the bottom of the 6th, or the top of the 7th inning, excuse me. A hit by pitch, but then a caught stealing, a strikeout, and an F8. And you very quickly are back up to the plate. Then you get base hit from Don Jordan, base hit from Andrew Raymond, and then you had that mess out on the base pass where both Raymond and Jordan were thrown out, and you lose all your momentum. Comerford strikes out looking, and all of a sudden you're in the 8th inning and you're still trailing this game. I do want to circle back to the pitching, though, because I mentioned that Reynoso is one of my favorite pitchers for the Blues because his stuff is gross, not fast. It's so effective. Today, 2 innings, no hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Exactly what you want from a reliever. He faced the minimum in his 2 innings of work. He is a guy who we've seen not at the ballpark at times. A guy who comes when needed. He's a guy I think D. Trainer needs to be like, stay, please stay, we need you. He's a good guy to have in the bullpen.
Absolutely. Reynoso has been a pleasant surprise for the Blues this summer after redshirting his first season at San Mateo and then having a year last year at Allen Hancock Community College. He's looked good so far for the Blues in 2025. So that's one thing they can hang their hat on, too. Again, you talk about facing the minimum. I mean, the Blues brought up 3 batters in 6 of the 9 innings that they hit. That's not going to cut it either. So extend innings, extend at-bats, maybe draw 1 walk, and we'll see you tomorrow against the Rosecco Saints.
Reynoso, a 1.62 ERA with a 170 opponent batting average thus far through the summer. Been one of the best relievers for the Blues. Tomorrow, they'll take on a Rosecco, on Western night. Nate, what are you wearing?
Ooh, I got to go to Party City, and it might be a game-time decision.
Yeah, game-time decision. I think one of my roommates has a cowboy hat. You might catch me in that.
Bandana?
Maybe.
A firearm?
Whoa. Hey, now.
Wild West.
Probably not. Probably not one of those. Don't want to get kicked out of the stadium. I do work here.
Well, here is a fun fact before we head out of here, and I'll definitely talk about this on the broadcast, too. San Luis Obispo, the city, was kind of the Wild West when it was first created. As a matter of fact, it was a place of thieves and people committing crimes, runaway bandits. They'd come to San Luis Obispo to get away. There was strip clubs everywhere. There was crime. It was dirty. They would smuggle stuff from all areas. There was so much havoc that they actually named it Tiger Town because of its sinful nature. And that's why SLO High School are the Tigers.
Wow, look at you, history buff.
Yeah.
Come on now.
They would smuggle in spices from Morro Bay and bring it down to SLO.
Okay. So we'll see Nate and I in our Western attire here on the broadcast tomorrow, and then we'll be kicking in saloon doors, it sounds like, after the game.
Yeah.
So that game tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Gates open at 5. If you can make it, buy some tickets. SLO Blues Baseball. Or if you come dressed in your Western attire, 50% off at the gate. If you can't, Nate and I will be right back here on the SLO Blues streaming network. But so long for now. The Blues lose it 3-2, their 6th CCL loss of the summer. Have a great night, everybody.